This evening, low -5. Clarenville Central, sunny today and some snow overnight. South Coast, sunshine today, then 15 to 25 centimeters of snow at times heavy this evening. West Coast, Southwest Coast, Northern Peninsula, sun and cloud today, and tonight some light snow overnight with a low of -9. Right now in St. John's, sunshine, -6. Back with an update at 10 o'clock. For VOCM News, I'm Sarah Strickland.
This is VOCM Open Line. Call 709-273-5211 or 1-888-590-8626. The views and opinions of this program are not necessarily those of this station. The biggest conversation in Newfoundland and Labrador starts now.
Well, good Monday morning, everyone. Brian Callahan back on the show this week with Matt Barron. Just rolling there with the punches in the background. I got still some music in my ears here, Matt, background. And I'll call this the Weather Tease, Spring Tease edition, because that's all it is with the blast we're apparently in for tonight and tomorrow. I was listening to Environment Canada's Melissa Fields. They're kind of not giggling or laughing, but just in bemusement, I guess, when she mentioned the 25 to 40, that's right, 40 centimeters that we're in for, mostly central and eastern Newfoundland event this will be. Getting on the go tonight and overnight, and then another good blast in the morning just for good measure, in case you thought it was over. I refuse to call it. I mean, look, it's a beautiful day out there today. Out like this morning, it's splitting the rocks here in Metro. It's a beautiful spring morning. That's why I call it the tease after the first day of spring on Friday. But I refuse to call this tonight Sheila's brush, because by all accounts it'll be much more of a full-on Zamboni or sweeper. I don't know what to call it. So tonight and tomorrow. So we know the drill by now. Batten her down, play ahead, plan ahead. Put the shovels out in the front porch today instead of trying to find them tomorrow morning. Do whatever your routine is. Certainly can't say we weren't warned. Quick check on the plethora of sports on the go. Why? Because I need sports in my life to balance off the news, especially the bad news, of which there's just a little bit of it. So let's see. How about the Newfoundland Regiment? Don't mean to jinx anything, but boy, they look good when they can do it when they need to. And reminds me a lot of the Growlers in their first season. They just had this feeling it was special. They could do something with the Growlers, and they did, winning it all out of the gate in their first season. And, of course, the key is no pressure at all here for the Reg. Anyway, swept the rival Halifax Mooseheads on the weekend. Decisive 6-1 Friday. Then 5 unanswered goals in the third period Saturday to send the fans into a frenzy and take a 6-4 win there. Finish off the regular season on a high note before opening the playoffs Friday night at home against the Cape Breton Eagles this week. Friday night at home. Newfoundland Rogues also back on the hard courts at home. Dropped a close one last night to the Tri-City Tide, and they're back at it tonight at Mary Brown Centre, weather permitting, of course. Not sure if that'll be an impact or not, depending on the timing and all the rest of it. So best check it out before you head out. And the Herder final is set. The Baker Flooring Blues, hoping to make hockey history, really. They could be the first CBS-based team to win the Herder in the province. And they go up against Deer Lake Red Wings. That's Friday night in CBS. Should be rocking for sure. And beyond our borders, I can't take my eyes off March Madness. If you want to know why they call it madness, all you had to do was tune into the Vanderbilt-Nebraska game on Saturday night, or any of the games, really, if they're remotely close. And even when they're not close, it's a spectacle. And it's only going to get wilder now that the Sweet 16 is set. It's funny, both the men's and the women's tournaments are on the go, and this is the premier elite basketball level. For me, it's better than the NBA. I mean, these are the thoroughbreds, in their prime. And they're fighting for careers and everything else that comes with the road ahead for them. And, it's easy to lose track of who we have playing south of the border. We all remember Carl English, the run he made. That was fantastic. I mean, to actually watch a Newfoundlander in the dance when he was playing with Hawaii back in the day. And if UMass had made it to the women's tourney, we may well have seen Kylie Suley of Mount Pearl in the spotlight. She's there with UMass, but unfortunately they got bounced in their first round conference playoffs, I believe. Keep an eye out for Kylie in the future for sure. Really do rely on family and friends to some extent to stay on top of that stuff with everything else going on. And March Madness is really, it's just as much about the coaches and the announcers and the fans as it is about the players in the game. And I see everyone else now has moved on from the former Guju rink. Just leaves Mr. Mark Nichols, keeping us all on the edge of our seats. Mark, if you want to give us a shout and let us know what you're up to. I doubt it'll happen that way, but I would appreciate it. But I'm sure we'd all love to know what your plans are because, curling talent like that, I'm sure he's got lots left in the tank. So we look forward to that. And by the way, I couldn't help but notice this. It's a sad state. Chuck Norris passed away last week, but some of the memes and the jokes going around, at this point, I don't think it's too soon anymore. Personal favorite, doctors say despite dying, Chuck Norris is expected to make a full recovery. I have to say he would be the last person I would poke to see if he's dead. Anyway, I digress. So lots of news on the local front we can get into. But I have to say, as a flyer, pretty frequent, I'm not usually, I'm not the most nervous, airplane flyer out there. Some people just can't fly and won't. See some pro players, it's messed up their careers, fear of flying, like most. And, like most, while you're in the air is, when I'm most tense at 32,000 feet or whatever, bit of turbulent will rock me, get me a little tense, a little white knuckles, squeezing the chair a little tighter. And we all know the relief that comes with the safe touchdown. And you feel the brakes kicking on, you slow down and we're good, comfort zone, right? Well, no. And that was certainly not the case at LaGuardia Airport in New York last night. Horrible set of circumstances there. 2 Air Canada pilots are dead. The cockpit ripped apart from a fire truck it collided with. And the visuals, the images and the video online is just stunning. Right there on the tarmac. And it just happened while they were taxiing after landing, going about 40 kilometers an hour. That's the safe point for me. I'm not sure I saw one car going that slow this morning on my way to work. But it didn't matter. Some kind of traffic mix-up. You can hear the controller telling the truck to stop over and over and over. I can only imagine what they were witnessing from the tower, trying to prevent this. So almost 80 people on board, lots of injuries, some serious. And we know how this works. Someone will know someone on that plane. Came from Montreal, and it's in Air Canada. So let's just hope beyond the tragic 2 deaths of the pilots. It's amazing. And I have some international travel to do soon, but it won't be to the States, thank God. The mayhem there now, you got the hour-long waits at security screening because those workers haven't been paid for months. I mean, what do you expect? Shortages of air traffic controllers, that's been documented well with the recent other tragedies in the air and on the ground. And now, just what they needed. ICE agents are going to be deployed at American. You can't make this stuff up. They're going to put ICE agents in there. And that's all we need because that's the perfect crowd to, calm the nerves and the tensions we all have at an airport. You got to be careful what you say. You got to be careful where you go. You don't want to, upset any of the agents or the security screeners because you never know. You don't want to be the one pulled out of a line. And now they're going to put ICE agents in there. Good call. And we can get into all of the Mideast war elements and all that entails. Trump's new the 48-hour deadline he imposed, which is due to expire any time now in the next couple of hours. And that was, the ultimatum to reopen the Strait of Hormuz, which is really just bottlenecking everything and is having a cascading effect on so much of what we do and live with every day. That deadline came on Saturday night. Or else the U.S. said they'll start destroying Iranian power plants. Good. More destruction, more death. That's nice. Good call. One of the things, of course, held up is fertilizer. And this is the growing season. I can't stress this enough. I've mentioned it before. We think of all the things that are held up, and it goes from water to, look, it runs the gamut. You can't just say oil and gas is held up. It's everything. It affects almost everything we do. 20-25% of it is coming through that. And then there's, again, it just has a trickle-down effect. But what occurred to me over the weekend? As far as the fertilizer goes, my cat could help out there. She's a piece of work. So amount of time I go at her litter box. But in any event, there's lots of meat on that bone if you want to discuss. Look, we can get deeply into it. But there's so many other important things on the plate here close to home. I did want to especially send out my sincerest condolences to the family of Tom Osborne Sr. The father of Cape Spear MP Tom Osborne, of course, the longest-serving MHA in NL House of Assembly history, Tom Jr. His father passed away at the age of 86 over the weekend. Of course, well-known in the real estate sector in the province. Just, as I said, instrumental in bringing the Real Estate Association and multiple listing service to St. John's. President of the St. John's Real Estate Board forever. With Royal LePage and Canada Day celebrations. He was the chair of that, the chair of the Pippi Park Commission, sat on the board of directors of St. John's Port Authority. It goes on and on. So, you know, I've known the Osbornes my entire life. Some of them have spent some time in my house, and I've spent time in their house. But yes, to Annette and Tom and the entire family, thinking about you today for sure. Wanted to get that in there just before I get into some of the other provincial stuff that we got on to go. So bravo, I will give credit where credit due. Bravo to the provincial government getting the new disability advocate legislation through third reading in the House. Not yet passed. That happened on Friday, the third reading, and it's still, or Thursday, last week anyway, late last week. It still requires royal assent, which we expect pretty soon. MHAs, they are, this is constituency week for the MHAs in the House of Assembly, so chance for them to get out of their actual seats in the ledge and do the good work in their offices and in their districts. And then they'll be back in the legislature next week. But, you know, you take the good with the bad, and that's as far as the good goes today for the new government, because let's start with the ECEs, the early childhood educators. So I don't know how many of you are refreshing the government's news release page at 7:25 on a Friday night, but it was important news that came out at that time on a Friday night, as usual. Look, I've railed against the 5 o'clock news release on a Friday afternoon for time immortal, because as a reporter, it does nothing less than get under my skin big time. It's just the old throwaway of how do you bury bad news on a weekend. But by all accounts, this is supposed to be good news. So why it came out on a 7:25 news release Friday night, and the fact that the early childhood educators have a protest plan for Confederation Building this morning, as far as I know, it's started at 9, and I'm not there. I think GMAC, Jerry Lynn Mackey from the morning show, the soldier she is, I think she went right up there. I believe she's gone up to have a look, and I'll be looking to check in and see if that's happening there this morning. We did have it in our news as it was, but you know these things can happen last second. Changes can happen, but I kind of feel their pain. You know, it's just as usual. Government forces you, really, to read between the lines. I mean, they don't come right out and say anything specific other than they're going to look at the $10 a day. But there's a lot of paragraphs and a lot of talk, and, you know, if it's great news, it will come out on a Monday morning, wouldn't it? Instead of a Friday evening, let alone 5 o'clock, now 7:25. We're getting later with these things. Anyway, we'll see. But with all the talk of communication and transparency and truth from the new government and the different way they're going to do things, and dare I say I heard for the first time last week, a minister, I believe it was Energy Minister Lloyd Parrott, utter the phrase, there's only so much money in the House of Assembly. And file that one under things we never heard during the election campaign. And then there's the price of gas. And, you know, I don't know. I said this before. I'm sure there's a few people driving around with their gas light on this morning. Would love to have a weigh-in on that. I know that Minister Parrott did mention, you know, last week, only 20 days. It's only 20 days. It may have only been happening for 20 days, but every prognosticator and expert and analyst in the world predicts that the fallout from the current war and the current blockade and the current bottleneck of oil and other supplies that need to get around the world, the fallout will continue for months. So we can say the war has only been happening for so long, but we're feeling it now, and it's going to get worse. And, you know, you can look at the Brent crude benchmark. That's the benchmark. If it's 120, if it's 115, whatever it is, it's 160 and 170 in other parts of the world, because it's not just the Brent that they go by. There are other things that cost more money to get to market. And you look at Asia, 80% of the oil that comes out of the Strait of Hormuz, that comes out of the Persian Gulf, is going to Asian countries, and Singapore Airlines in these places are skyrocketing. If you can get on a flight, it's like a private flight these days. It would be a private aircraft price to get on some of those international flights. So anyway, we can say it's 20 days. and I haven't heard any commitment that they will continue with the 7.5 gas cut from the gas tax. If that goes back on, then we're even deeper. And, we know that it's, $25 million that the government is making for every dollar, roughly $25 million, every dollar that goes up and down with the price of barrel of oil. If it goes up, it's $25 million in the coffers. If it goes down, we don't get that unless it goes under 66, which is what the benchmark was that the province set back in the fall, in their spring update, in their fall update. So, wait and see. Okay, we're all pretty much drowning here. And, the budget's still about a month away. Well, not a month away, couple of weeks at least. And things can change. We saw the Nova Scotia government make some changes when they realized they made some mistakes. And this is very fluid, no pun intended, with the barrel of oil. So, if they're not looking at some kind of serious relief, or at least keeping that 7.5 on that was taken off, then, we could be up the creek, as that commercial says. And, of course, CHMR, we're going to get into that. I'm not going to get into too much of what's going on at Mun Radio right now. We all know that last week a recommendation came from Munsu to shut her down. And that would be a massive loss, not just for Mun, just for the listening community and the variety of listeners and the variety of music that's on that station, and a mainstay. It just feels like a death by 1,000 cuts at Mun. And it's so slowly dragged out, they hope, I guess, that we won't notice. But we're noticing this, and there's all kinds of issues there with with communication and transparency again. The way this rolled out, and we'll get into it after 10 o'clock. We're going to have the program director and news director, Rhea Rollman and Colleen Power, both going to join me after 10 o'clock to get into this a little more, so I won't spend too much time on it here now. And on and on and on it goes. I want to get into the floating dry docks and the MOU, if you want to get into any of that. But look at the time. Matt, why don't we take that first break, and anytime we have a caller, I'm taking that call. So let's take the break, and we'll take our first caller. Aaron is on the line waiting on to talk about a Metro bus incident right after the break.
Call now, 709-273-5211 or 1-888-590-8626. Newfoundland and Labrador's biggest conversation. VOCM Open Line returns in a moment.
I'm Dr. Mike Wall. Join me Thursdays at 7 p.m. and Sundays at 4 p.m. for the Wellness and Healthy Lifestyle Show on your VOCM. Each week, we learn about the things that make Newfoundland and Labrador special when it comes to health and wellness, whether that be our music, our storytelling, our outdoors, our foods, or the talented people we have here at home. Let's explore health together on your VOCM.
The Wall Show, brought to you by Simply for Life, your one-stop nutrition and wellness destination.
Hi, I'm Dr. Jillian Ryan, registered audiologist at Amplifon, formerly New Life Hearing. Do you struggle to hear conversations or misunderstand them? Think that people mumble or ask for words to be repeated? Are you having trouble hearing the TV, radio, or listening on the phone? Do you have ringing in your ears? Current recommendations suggest a hearing test before the age of 55.
Take action today towards improving your quality of life and contact the audiologist of Amplifon. Your journey to better hearing starts at Amplifon.
Ready to build real skills? College of the North Atlantic prepares graduates for real success with hands-on programs trusted by industry. Train as a machinist and master precision metal cutting and CNC operations. Become a carpenter, reading blueprints and constructing residential and commercial projects. Or step into renewable energy with wind turbine technician, maintaining mechanical and electrical systems for next-generation wind power. Apply for fall 2026. cna.nl.ca.
You spent a lifetime making memories. We invite you to do more. At Lane's Retirement Living, residents find the perfect balance of exceptional, independent living and guided support. A lifestyle that suits you and for couples who need different levels of service and care. It's not just the life you need, it's the life you earned. Lane's Retirement Living, a community built on trust, integrity, and community connection. To learn more about life at Lane's, visit us at lanesretirementliving.com or call Mary at 709-895-2637.
There's one marketplace built for Newfoundland and Labrador, NLP Marketplace. Explore verified dealer inventory for powersports, marine, and RVs, all in one trusted destination. Visit nlpmarketplace.ca. One province, one marketplace. That's right. There's one marketplace built for Newfoundland and Labrador, NLP Marketplace. Explore verified dealer inventory for powersports, marine, and RVs, all in one trusted destination. Visit nlpmarketplace.ca. One province, one marketplace.
The first morning in your new bathroom feels different, brighter, fresher, and Saunders Bath Fitter in St. John's can make that happen in just one day. Whether you're upgrading to your dream design or getting your home ready to sell, the experts at Saunders Bath Fitter will help make your vision reality. With over 40 years experience, they know how to get it done right. Call Saunders Bath Fitter for a free in-home consultation or visit 169 McNamara Drive. Saunders Bath Fitter, a better bath remodel.
Mornings are hard. Breakfast should not be. That's where Robin swoops in like a breakfast superhero. Mix and match 2 breakfast faves for just $6. Egg and cheese breakfast? Yes, please. Bacon, eggs, and cheese? Obviously. Bagel with cream cheese? Classic legend. Big flavor, tiny price. Happy taste buds doing a little dance. Grab it fast. It's for a limited time at participating locations across the province. Robin's. Fast, fresh, and friendly.
Always get a break at Robin's.
Camping on a long weekend without a Toyota Tacoma can feel crowded. But when you get a Tacoma during Red Tag Days, you can take advantage of its powerful I-Force engine and rugged capability to find a better site. Take advantage of Red Tag Days on now. Lease a 2026 Tacoma 4x4 Double Cab SR5 from $278 bi-weekly for 60 months. Visit shoptoyota.ca or your local Atlantic Toyota dealer today.
VOCM Open Line is brought to you by Janes and Noseworthy, licensed insolvency trustees. It's okay to get help with your debt, and finding someone local you can trust makes all the difference.
This is Open Line on the VOCM Big Land FM radio network.
And welcome back to the show. Let's go start the week and the day off with line number 1. And caller, you're on the air.
Yes. Hi, I'm calling because Saturday night, just after 8, I got off Metrobus with my bag of groceries and was trying to step onto the sidewalk. However, the driver never even waited for me to get on the sidewalk, and I went through the back door like you're supposed to on the bus. And anyway, when I was about to get on the sidewalk when the driver decided to pull away, and the force of the bus pulling away, I guess, caused me to slip and nearly fall, not even get on the sidewalk. And I screamed out when I heard a crunch. I heard them. They were pulling away, and I thought maybe they didn't get my bag of groceries. No, I heard the crunch. It was a bottle of peanut butter. They broke. And I screamed out, "Wait, hold on." They did stop. No apologies were given when I got back on the bus and spoke about just said what happened. It wasn't even acknowledged. So I went and took what was salvageable. There was only 2 items out of the numerous items I bought that were not touched by the peanut butter or other items that got broken. These were the only items that weren't damaged, is what I'm saying. I took them home. Anyway, because of the injuries, I tried 811 and was dismissed completely.
What? Okay, so I didn't want to interrupt. I wanted you to continue, but a couple of things just before I lose. There's so much here that I want to ask you about. First of all, Saturday night, whereabout in St. John? Was this in St. John's?
Yes, it was by the lake, Kitty Vitty Lake.
By Kitty Vitty, okay. So first of all, you're okay. You said you nearly fell. You didn't fall, did you?
I did fall. I didn't nearly fall. I'm sorry. I did fall.
Okay.
I slipped and got dirt all over my pants and everything. Had to put them in the hamper. But
And you mentioned injuries. Did you? How were you hurt?
I got scrapes and bruises all over a kneecap, plus a foot I had broken twice in the past due to unfortunate bullying, where I got shoved downstairs. A few of the feet or toes. I'm sorry, a few of the toes are hurting a bit. So maybe the wheel touched the foot. I don't know.
Okay. But still.
And
but still, and you did. So this, the bus stopped and everybody noticed. Were there many people on the bus? Other people witnessed this?
I guess so, yes. There were other people. I don't know if they looked out. I wasn't looking at them. I was just looking ahead, trying to get on the sidewalk.
But the bus had to stop because you yelled out and you screamed?
Yes.
And that's why it stopped?
Yes, but the driver never acknowledged at all. And no apologies given, nothing. And so I took what was salvageable from the bag, said, okay, fine, you throw it out, because it was my hands had peanut butter on them from when I touched it. So, I wiped them off in the bag, and I'm sorry, but I had to leave the bag there because it was dirty enough, and I just didn't feel comfortable taking it. And considering the inconsideration from the driver, that I figured that was the most considerate thing he could do.
So the bus tires ran over some of your groceries?
Ran over $16 and some odd cents worth. Nearly $20 worth.
But thank God not a limb or your foot or anything. So I'm just trying to picture this. So you're getting off the bus. You're getting off the bus.
I got bruises and scratched on my kneecap, and I don't know if it was toes that could have been just run over briefly. I've been trying to even get a hold of my family doctor, and for some reason today, with Major's Pass Family Practice, there's a problem with their phone line.
Well, that's not a first there, but I'm sure they're working on that. But I just want to make sure I and the listeners have an accurate, description of what occurred here. You're getting off the bus. Is it dark?
Yes.
Okay.
10 p.m.
So you're getting off the back door. So those back doors, they have mirrors right above them, so that at least in my experience, I haven't been on Metrobus in a couple of maybe a year now. I had to get one. Where was that? But anyway, I know from experience they have the mirrors there. Now, maybe more technology these days, I don't know. But there are mirrors right above the back door.
There are cameras as well, video cameras.
Yep.
But
I mean, in the moment, so the bus driver can see what's going on when he pulls into a stop, and he checks he checks his mirror in front of him, which reflects to the back mirror, which reflects down on the stairs there at the back door, or by the back door if there's any stairs. And then he can see when people are getting off and when people are getting on, and he knows, or she knows. So the driver. So I wasn't there, and I'm taking everything that you said, just your first-hand opinion. But
yes, he knew that I got off the bus. That's why he pulled away, but he did not wait for me to get on the sidewalk. Okay. I've watched other drivers in the past passengers, making sure that they've gotten safely away from the bus before they pulled away.
Sure, which would be normal, yeah.
Yeah, but not in this case.
Okay. So you called 811?
Yes, and I tried that and was dismissed.
Did you try 311, the city number 311?
311 for what?
Well, that's the city of St. John's, which will connect you to all departments of the city of St. John's. And one of them is the transportation, commission, because that's a part of
Well, I've already sorry to interrupt, but I'm already going to Metrobus about this.
Okay.
With they're looking at the video camera footage.
So they are on it.
I only called 811 to hope to get at least some feedback about the injuries that I had sustained, because I didn't know what exactly I was doing, but they were very nasty. It's the kindest word I can describe it.
But Metrobus is on this for you, looking into it, are they? And they are aware?
They are investigating, so we'll see what happens.
Okay, well, that's where we have to leave it, I guess, for now, and also because we're up to the break. But please, 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 as we often say, and this is a prototypical, perfect example. Please let us know the outcome or the upshot of what happens here, if you would, just to follow up. And because, you know, these are things that can happen to anybody. If the bus pulls away too fast, or if maybe some people take a little longer to get off and they didn't know that they were still getting off, and the door is supposed to signal that. And they have all these safeguards in place. So I'm sure they'll get to some kind of explanation. And as you said, with cameras, you know, it should tell the tale.
Yeah, and they'll probably victim blame, which is typical of this province, of what I experienced. But this province is considered friendly, the friendliest, despite using the R word. In that case, the Simpsons, when they offended Newfoundlanders, they were basically referencing the R word, because that's the word that's common, that might have died out in other parts of the country, but it has not died out here.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that has to do with anything we're talking about right now, caller, but we'll leave that where it is. Let me know what happens with your incident with Metrobus, please. Okay? And, okay, caller's gone. Let's see, right on the break, Matt. Not bad, eh? Dave would be proud of me. Let's take that break. Be right back with Jim and Bob after the break.
Call now, 709-273-5211 or 1-888-590-8626. Newfoundland and Labrador's biggest conversation. VOCM Open Line returns in a moment.
The Healthcare Foundation Home Lottery is back. Win big with the $1.4 million grand prize Ocean View Show Home, custom built by McIntyre Homes, plus $50,000. Enjoy the trip of a lifetime with the French Polynesian Adventure bonus prize, a 7-night getaway for two, cruising the world's most romantic destinations, plus the BMW convertible early bird prize, or $75,000. Help strengthen healthcare right here at home. Buy now at hcfhomelottery.ca.
Kent Building Supply celebrates 50 years by helping young people in our community. This month, you can make it possible for more children in Atlantic Canada to get the chance to experience camp. Your support gives kids from low-income families the chance to build confidence and make new friends. Join us by donating to YMCA Atlantic Canada at the cash register. At checkout, round up your purchase or add a donation. Take action today. Your generosity makes camp possible. Kent Building Supplies. Look what we've built together.
The Newfoundland and Labrador Association of Optometrists reminds you that protecting your child's vision starts with 2 simple steps: regular eye exams and more time playing outside. Did you know that natural sunlight helps promote healthy eye development? Regular checkups catch issues early, and outdoor play gives their eyes a vital break from screens, helping reduce the risk of nearsightedness. Contact an eye doctor near you. A message from the Newfoundland and Labrador Association of Optometrists.
Moving can be a lot of hassle. New house, new town, new job. So don't go it alone. Make your next move stress-free with Household Movers and Shippers. With over 70 years experience, they can take care of all the details, from packing and protecting your valuables to getting you settled in your new home. Whether it's across town or around the globe, they can even store your items. Household Movers and Shippers. Whether you're moving locally, long distance, or even internationally, they're your relocation specialists. Online at householdmovers.ca.
In an age of information overload, facts seem fluid and motives often questionable. Where is truth? When opinions divide us, personal rights war with responsibilities, and conspiracy theories muddy the waters, who can we trust? A loving God assures us, I am the way, truth, and the life, and offers clear answers in a confusing world. Tune to the Old Story Sundays at 10 a.m. on VOCM.
Debt can take over your life. The stress, the constant worry, it can feel like you're drowning. When people come to see me, they're often anxious and feeling hopeless. But when I explain how I can help them get out of debt, those feelings melt away. I'm Nancy Snedden, licensed insolvency trustee at BDO right here in Newfoundland. I will create a personalized debt relief plan so you can move forward with confidence. Call 1-833-BDO-TALK or visit bdodebt.ca to discover your debt-free future.
It's Subway's Lunch, Not Luck, where it's a win every day of the week. What's the win? Take it away, Kyle.
It's Subway's Meal of the Day, only $8.99. A 6-inch sub, a drink and chips, or 2 cookies. Enjoy a different sub every day, like pizza sub melt on Monday, cold cut combo on Wednesday, or even sweet onion chicken teriyaki on Sunday.
That's right. 7 days, 7 meals, $8.99 each. Subway's Meal of the Day. Winning isn't luck, it's lunch.
Price and participation may vary. Extras, bottled beverages, taxes, and fees for delivery additional.
Your summer. Your VOCM. Your VOCM.
Love being out in the community, talking to people, joining in on local events. VOCM has the perfect summer job for you. We're looking for a host for your summer, your VOCM. Represent the station at events, promotions, and live broadcasts around the metro. Confident on the mic? Energetic? Social media savvy? We want you. Send your resume to careersnl@stingray.com. Your summer starts here on VOCM.
This is Open Line on the VOCM Big Land FM radio network.
And welcome back to the program. Let's go right to line number 2. And Jim, you're on the air.
Good morning, Brian. Thanks for taking my call.
My pleasure. What's on the mind?
I got a head scratcher for you this morning.
No pun intended.
Well, and when you hear the story, you'll understand. I'd like to see your face when I tell you this one. I was down in Churchill Square last night, and my son took me for a birthday dinner. So I parked in the EV parking spot where I normally would park. And a Sunday evening, 6 o'clock, and I just went on into the restaurant, not thinking nothing. I said, when the space is there, I use it, I plug in. I've owned an EV for like flat 4 years right now. And apparently, when I came out, I had a ticket. So, unbeknownst to me, I went down this morning. I said, well, I'm going to go down and pay the ticket anyway and see what it's all about. The girls were like jaw-smacked. They're like, you're kidding me. No. Apparently, there's a rule on the books that if I park in the EV spot, I've checked it out afterwards. I didn't know this, that if you park there and you plug in, you have to pay for parking even though everybody else gets free parking. I didn't care. I would have paid it. Didn't make no difference to me. But not knowing that you still had to pay, there's nothing there to tell you that. I get your ticket last night, so I told the girls, but it's 6 o'clock on the weekend. There's no charge for meters anyway. I know. So I said, I get to call you to let you know this one because I said, I'm shocked. And I said, I'll pay it. And when I looked online, I could find it, but I thought, I'm not going to win it because it's on the books.
Yeah, I can see it here too now. And to be honest with you, Jim, in the back of my mind, I kind of, I don't want to say I understand it, but I expected it. It's kind of like, we know the 9 to 5, Monday to Friday parking is free because it's regular parking for everybody, and you need that flow and the changeover and and it can be accommodated. I view the EV ones, although it shouldn't be in the same category, but kind of like 24-hour. I mean, if it's a specific kind of need, and in the back of my mind, it's almost like the blue zones, only because they never expire. If you park any time of day or night in a blue zone, you're getting a ticket, and rightly so. As far as EV goes, this is such an evolving industry, and people are learning every day how to sort of deal with all of the issues that come with driving an electric vehicle. One of them being, of course, right now, is the fact that so few still, despite, all of the prognostications about how quickly we would be transforming from oil and gas or from combustible engines to electric. It's taken a little longer for all the reasons we know, the global issues and whatever. But I got to be honest, you want some leeway. Look, I got a $60 ticket the other day, and I don't even want to tell you what it was for. I was working. It was as a media person, and I still got a $60 ticket, and I thought about fighting it, and I thought, the law is there, and what am I going to do? It's a buyer beware almost, Jim. I hate to say it, but do you disagree totally? How do you feel about the actual rules now that you know?
Well, I've never argued. I went down, just paid the ticket, and the girl said, you're going to pay this. You got a month to fight it. Go fight it. And I said, no, I'm not going to fight it because that's who I am. I'm just going to pay it.
On what basis, though, did she say fight it? Like, what would be your argument?
She was surprised. I think they were just surprised that was the policy on. They didn't know. I guess they're just, people working, the government. And so anyway, the other thing I looked at, and to be honest with you, is the reasons what I saw there, and you probably see the same thing, is you must pay for electricity. Fair enough. But when you look at what would you charge at a level 2 charger, And for 2 hours, I was there an hour and a half, not splitting hairs, but just saying, say if I was there for 2 hours, it would have been $1.90. You know what I mean? And I would normally, if I park downtown anywhere, and I know I have to pay the ticket, for the fee of getting in that space, I still have to pay the meter.
Yeah.
I know that, and I've got that on my phone, and wherever I do. I mean, I've never got a parking ticket in an EV place. I could have just parked there, apparently, and I might not have got a ticket as long as I didn't plug in. I don't know if that's the way, but anyway, I wanted to have this discussion this morning to let the EV owners know that if no matter what time of the day, and back to your point, blue zones now in the same breath, and I don't know if that's it, but it's close, that yes, you should make sure you pay. And that was the reason why I pay it. And I called you today.
Yeah, listen, this is exactly what this program is for. You know, hosts will come and go, but calls like yourselves, like this one here, it's a massive little eye opener for people. You know, people who don't even have an electric vehicle. This is a little something that'll bank in the back of your mind, and you'll remember it. And look, parking, Jim. You know, we could have a whole show or a week on parking. The complaints we have, whether it's the musicians now downtown, of course. I know that Glenn Pardy with the musician site on Facebook. I'm having a Monday morning brain, but we all know there was somebody booted there the other night, and that's another level of frustration altogether. The fact that people can basically hold your $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 vehicle hostage until you pay a ticket. That's got to stop. That's got to end. That just makes, yes, you have a parking sign and we're not supposed to park there, but people park in these places, all different reasons, especially musicians trying to get back and forth safely at night at 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning, and to come out and find your boot on it. It's like, there's got to be something. I can't imagine anyone at the city really likes this. So, we elect people to come up with, to be a little bit of ingenuity instead of just, the same old, same old. I know it's tough times, and we're doing a lot of catch up and just trying to make ends meet in many ways, cities and governments and that sort of thing. But, we need to look at some of these things that just are just to no end of frustration, a bane of, oh God, frustration for all of us. Anyway, don't get me started. I'm started, so there's no stopping now.
Well, listen, thanks for taking my call. Like I said, it's just a bit of a head scratcher for me, and I just thought I want to share it just to let EV owners listen. If you park anywhere in the city, and probably in the province, you must pay, which I would have. I didn't have no issue with doing that. But I just is this right or wrong? And I went and checked it, and sure enough, it is. Yep. It's right. So I'm not going to argue it.
I know. It gets into you, it gets under your skin, and you got to try to let it go, these things. And actually, I probably saw you. I was right there last night, coming through around 7 or 8 o'clock in Churchill Square. I live close by, so I know the spots you're talking about, right across from the diner, right?
Yep, right from Pops, yep.
Yeah, next to the building. Yeah. All right, Jim, listen, thanks for the call. Appreciate it. Anybody else wants to get on about their parking woes, I'm all over it.
Thanks. Have a good day.
You too. Thanks. All right. Let's see. Let's take that quick break. Let's just take it early there and get back a couple of callers, and we won't have to interrupt anyone. Matt, off to the break. Looking for your calls. We're going to talk to Bob about North River Heritage after. Let's go.
Call now, 709-273-5211 or 1-888-590-8626. Newfoundland and Labrador's biggest conversation. VOCM Open Line returns in a moment.
It's okay to get help with your debt, and finding someone local you can trust makes all the difference. I'm Becky with the Janes and Noseworthy team right here in Newfoundland and Labrador. Our licensed insolvency trustees have helped thousands of folks in our province get out of debt for the past 40 years. Whether virtual or in person at one of our 4 local offices, your consultation is always free and confidential. Chat live and get started with us today at janesnoseworthy.ca. It's okay.
Deadlines, grocery lines, layering up. Oh, you're ready to start planning for summer. Sellout Vacations knows you want to do it with confidence. Book a WestJet Vacations Sun Getaway through Sellout Vacations by April 26th, and a WestJet Vacations Travel Protection Plan comes included. Happy is having that flexibility if your plans change. So when that summer in paradise comes, you can savor it fully. Just contact your local travel expert or visit selloutvacations.com. Certain conditions apply.
Every year, we recycle 500,000 tires right here in Newfoundland and Labrador, where they're transformed locally into tire-derived aggregate used for roadwork and construction projects. That means fewer tires in the landfill and a cleaner environment for us all. It's local, it's sustainable, and it's building a better future right here at home. Recycle your used tires. Learn more at mmsb.nl.ca.
Are you tired of the winter weather? Ready to trade Jack Frost for the Easter Bunny? We are too. Stay connected with Downtown Conception Bay South on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. Or visit us at downtowncbs.com for details on an exciting Love Local spring campaign. We have something special blooming under all that snow. From unique local shops and delicious dining to professional services and everyday essentials, Downtown CBS makes it easy to shop local. Downtown CBS, everything you need right here.
Newfoundland and Labrador's tech sector is booming, and Academy Canada can help you join in. Our Information Systems Specialist program offers hands-on training in network implementation and support, from desktop to cloud systems, all in under 2 years. Plus, thanks to our transfer agreement with College of the North Atlantic, you can advance your education even further by bridging your diploma to their Bachelor of Applied Information Technology in Systems and Network Cybersecurity. Visit academycanada.com today and come take your place.
Engineers and geoscientists are licensed professions with a responsibility to society. Adhering to rigorous standards, they are committed to lifelong learning. PEG-NL regulates the engineering and geoscience professions for competent and ethical practice to protect the public and support licensed professionals in their pursuit of professional excellence. Before engaging with an engineer or geoscientist, check that they are licensed on our public registry at pegnl.ca. PEG-NL, Professional Excellence, Public Trust.
The chilly weather is upon us. It's time for more enjoyment indoors, so make your home even more inviting with Mount Carmel Building Supplies. Stay warm and cozy with their selection of wood stoves and prefab chimneys. Change your home's feel with new flooring, molding, and trim, and a wide selection of interior doors. And brighten any room with interior paints and painting supplies. You'll find everything for your indoor renovations at Mount Carmel Building Supplies. 709-521-2730.
For over 50 years, Automotive Supplies Limited has been your local, family-owned choice for car parts. Why choose us? Because we believe in supporting our own. Shopping with us keeps jobs and money right here in our community. We're proud to source our parts from Canadian suppliers. Find us at 3 convenient locations: 33 Stavanger Drive, 1222 Topsail Road, and 99 Conception Bay Highway. Automotive Supplies Limited. We've got the parts to make your car purr.
This is Open Line on the VOCM Big Land FM radio network.
Welcome back to the program. Let's go to line 3. And Bob, you're on the air.
Good morning, Brian. Thank you for taking my call.
My pleasure. What's on your mind?
Okay, of course, you know I'm with the North River Heritage and Future Development Society, and we have an event coming up called Yarns and Yaffles of Fun on April the 25th. Tickets for that event are $25, and believe it or not, even this far out, we only have like a handful of tickets left for that. We usually sell out in about 10 minutes once we post. So
I'm not surprised. Yarns and Yaffles, I'm in.
Right. And if you're around, Brian, we'll see if we can get you in there. We're going to be pretty cinched, but
I used to be around. You know, I used to be around a lot, Bob. North River. I'd spent a lot of my childhood down that way when we were up around Mackinson's and that sort of thing. Family cabin growing up, so. We were down to church every Saturday night down in North River.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. Sounds good. And with this now, Brian, we have a new program that we call Aging with the Arts and Senior Safety, which is tied in with this particular event. And this is a program that we have for the seniors groups in this region. So, you know, it's a regional initiative. And what we're doing is we're giving these seniors a free event for this particular event on the 25th. So, you know, of course, in our situation, we're an arts and heritage organization. So we were looking for a way, I guess, that we could tie in our seniors because, of course, with all the cost of living increases, I'm sure they're feeling the pinch, and we wanted a way to sort of give back to our seniors in the region. So that's what we're doing anyway at this event, and, you know, we do have a few spaces open for the general public who want to attend this event, but, you know, we're, like I said, we're cinched right now, which is a great thing. It really is.
That's a great complaint to have, Bob, no question. How was the Paddy's Day party?
Oh, we had a dance up there for Paddy's Day up at that little place. In the meantime, since I spoke to you last, I think the last time I spoke to you, we had a traditional Christmas concert that we had, and that was sold out. We had another event in February, a country hoedown, that was sold out, and this one is going to sold out. And we got one coming up May that we have. I know that's going to be sold out as well. I see, Brian. I guess our end goal is we have we've acquired the old St. George's Church there, and we want to turn that into a regional arts and heritage center. That's our plan, of course. I guess you can see the things that we're having are evidence that this certainly badly needed. So we're hoping that with the help of provincial and federal governments, and if there's any philanthropists out there would certainly like to help us, we would much appreciate that. Now we're working with a co right now, actually, and hoping that we're going to be able to get some funding to get some work done on that, within the next year or so for sure. But, it's difficult when you're having to rent other facilities. Like, we'd like to have a, professional sound stage with our sound system and lighting and all that stuff there. But when you got to be lugging equipment to different venues and you haven't got proper staging, it's much more challenging to do that, right?
I know that firsthand. I have a bit of a side gig in that territory for shows and stuff, but I tell you, you could have a great side gig as a promoter because you keep selling out all your gigs. People are going to want to know your secret. And not only that, you keep selling them out and you'll have that, hopefully, in not too short, distant future, those funds to be able to, invest in those kind of, permanent sound stage and tech equipment so that you don't have to farm it out or lug it around.
Exactly, that's for sure. Well, that's certainly our end goal. That's what we would like to do, because obviously, we're hearing, I guess, with folk festival and so on, the importance of heritage being lost, and we're doing our part out here to do what we can. Like in this particular event here, we have a storyteller, Mr. Peter Larissy. Fantastic storyteller. He knows all the stories and recitations. So, that was a big part of the culture in this area here, and we want to bring that back, and let people hear some of the old stories.
Yep, with you 100%. One more time, Bob. All the deets, the where's, the whens, and how to get, and how much room you got left, which sounds like not a lot.
Okay, yeah, so it's April 25th. It's a Saturday, and the event starts at 7 p.m. I'll say right now, the venue, we're still a little bit up in the air. It probably will be All Hallows Parish Hall, but if we get any bigger, we're going to have to go into a bigger venue. So we'll certainly have that posted on our Facebook site, and the tickets are $25. It's a cold plate supper, dessert, tea, and dinner theater sort of setting, right?
Yeah, I'm just checking. Mary Brown Center is available, so if you need to upscale.
Yeah, we could probably check in there.
You never know. That'd be a dream. That'd be nice. Hey, take care of all your funding woes in one fell swoop.
Definitely.
Bob, good luck with it. I know it's a month out, so feel free to give me a shout back anytime between now and then, or whoever happens to be here in the studio.
Yes,
and
for sure.
I'm going to plug her again just in case you need to, although by that time I'm sure she'll be chock full.
Definitely. Thank you very much, Brian.
Thanks, Bob. Take care. All righty, let's see. Let's take line number one. Let's go right to line number one. And Ron, you're on the air.
Good morning. Thank you for taking my call.
Sure, Ron.
My name is Ronald Owens. I'm a registered nurse for 44 years, and I retired last year. Just so the background is, my experience in nursing spanned across nursing practice, nursing administration management, and nursing education. So I'm calling this morning to share with the public a situation that was related to my time when I was working in nursing education while teaching Bachelor of Nursing students in the Faculty of Nursing at Memorial University.
And Ron, just to be clear, we're going to just really make sure we stay, away from any names or anything specifics, okay, if that's okay. I mean, your experience is fine, but it doesn't take a lawyer to know that we have to be careful if you're going to, certainly with no names. Is that all right?
Yes, that's fine.
Okay, sure.
Absolutely.
Fire away.
Okay, so the background to the story is that it's pretty detailed, and it's been on the go for a while, but I and several other nursing faculty have experienced, witnessed, documented, and reported to the previous dean of the Faculty of Nursing, professional misconduct by two in particular nursing students whose behavior was quite disturbing, which is certainly worrisome and concerning.
And certainly keeping in mind as well that, this is your experience, one side, and not to be, terminology and all that kind of stuff, but one side of a very complex story. Go ahead.
Sure. Their professional misconduct continued throughout their program, basically in a steady decline, yet these two students were permitted to progress through the program and ultimately graduated with a Bachelor of Nursing degree.
Ron, can I ask you one quick question? Was there ever like some kind of disciplinary finding that they had committed misconduct?
Not to what should have been.
No, okay, but yes, that's a pretty straightforward. It's a yes or no. I mean, was there a finding that they committed misconduct? That's not a wishy-washy. That's a yes or no.
Well, I would say no.
Okay, so even more so, just so you know, alleged. This is all alleged. Okay, this is not, and I'm going to, just bear with me. I'm going to let you talk and everything, but I just want to be very careful legally here. I've got some background there, that this is alleged misconduct by you, correct?
Yes, it is, and it was reported to the College of Registered Nurses in Newfoundland.
Anybody can report anything. I just want to be very clear that this is your allegation, and we're not going to name anybody. So continue.
Yeah, so basically, just to skip over so much, I'll give you a little bit of the background that has happened, and no names, but I will describe the behavior. So in no particular chronological order, but we have two students. One I'll call student A. And this student was removed from the program and subsequently was readmitted to the program due to a successful appeal. Threatening behavior directed towards the associate dean, resulting in this student having to be physically removed from the school by campus enforcement. That's one. Dishonesty, lying, cheating, claiming to be the author of various academic work when he wasn't, made several medication errors and issues related to medication keys that were supposed to be in the student's possession that went missing, was reported by registered nurses in the clinical area for smelling of alcohol when he went to the clinical area to research a patient assignment on a weekend.
Okay, just one quick question, if you don't mind. So that's some pretty serious stuff. Where did you get all of this personal information in this person's file to know the specifics to this extent?
With other faculty.
But this would be privacy. This would be privacy, would it not? Though I mean, these are. I know we're not naming anyone, but these are individual files and experiences. I'm just asking.
No. And what I'm going to share with you, I'm just telling you the behavior of a student when this person was a student.
Alleged, yes.
Incident that happens. And then what I'm going to share with you is what happened after graduation, and I'm taking that from the College of Nursing from Nova Scotia's website, word for word.
Okay, I got 3 minutes. I'm really sorry, but go for it.
Okay. The student was basically argumentative, confrontational with clinical staff, classmates, that kind of thing, nursing faculty. Invoked fear in classmates, faculty, students, discussed with me being afraid of him and questioned why he was allowed to continue in the program. The student was guilty of patient abandonment by returning to the nursing unit following a break and came back 3 hours later and claimed he had fallen asleep.
This was in Nova Scotia?
No, that was here when the person was a student.
Okay, sorry, continue.
So that's that. And the student filed a non-academic complaint against me, which was proven to be malicious and a compilation of lies and fabrication. So that's, in a nutshell, student A. Student B, is not as long. This student was easily angered and often inappropriate with fellow students and faculty, would experience meltdowns and periods of frustration and anger that were certainly directed towards classmates and faculty, both in the classroom and the clinical area. And of all things, the student committed a criminal offense upon a faculty member by throwing a bottle of water at the faculty. So basically, these two students were permitted to graduate. All of this behavior was documented, as I mentioned, by several nursing faculty who submitted, their experience with these two students.
So, Ron, in the minute I got left there, how has this affected you personally?
Because the whole mandate of the College of Registered Nurses of Newfoundland is the interest of the public and to protect the public. This is in the interest of every person in this province. These two nurses are out caring for loved ones tonight. So I realize time is an issue, but this is since graduation. This student, that student A, admitted to this behavior and was disciplined by the college, the Nova Scotia College of Nursing. So this student basically abused or assaulted 6 different patients in Nova Scotia. This is very quick. This is right from the college's website. So client A, and it goes to client F. Client A's was spoken to by using profanity, and the clients to the client and the client's family, including that client A had SHI, the bed.
Gotcha. Ron, only because of the time on the clock, I'm well past the news. I would be all open to continuing this. I'm sorry we only had a bit of time here now. I got to get to the news. But it's a tangly thing, and I don't want to give it short shrift. If this sort of thing is occurring, in various areas of healthcare, especially, you have these colleges of physicians and then the nurses and then other authorities that regulate the practice in this province. I would be more than open to hearing from them and to find out how widespread this sort of thing is. Your personal experience is troubling, no question. And I'd be open to more of it only because of the time on the clock. I tried to give you as much as I could there, but it is a bit of a tangly thing. And but we know the subject matter, and you've put it out there. So if anyone else would like to weigh in on that one, I am all over it. Let's get to the news there, Matt. And after the news, we're going to hear from our friends at CHMR and what they're up against these days. Right after the news.
This is the VOCM Radio Network. Stingray radio stations heard around the province and around the world at VOCM.com and through the Stingray Music app. This is your VOCM. Local news now. A VOCM news update.
This news is presented by Rogers Moyse Lawyers. They stand for you. Call 722-3777. Rogers Moyse.
At 10 o'clock, we have sunshine, the temperature -5 in St. John's. Good morning. I'm Sarah Strickland. Air Canada has released a statement saying it is deeply saddened by the loss of 2 Jazz Aviation employees in last night's crash in New York. It says Air Canada and Jazz Aviation teams are heading to the site at LaGuardia and are cooperating with Transportation Safety Board investigators from both countries. 2 Port Authority employees in the fire truck suffered non-life-threatening injuries. The truck was traveling across the runway to respond to a separate incident aboard another flight whose pilot had reported an issue with an odor. The union, which represents more than 220 workers at NL Housing, says compensation needs to keep up with the private sector in order to retain and recruit the workers they need. Jerry Butler of QP Local 1860 says his members are dedicated to serving the public, and he's not surprised by the recent findings of Auditor General Denise Hanrahan. He says their ranks have shrunk over the years due to a variety of factors.
Due to policy changes and different programs that will get shut down, such as our modernization and improvement program. Over the years, we used to improve houses as they needed it. What's happened here lately, it seems like we just put out fires more so than to maintain, which, like I said, with the policy announcement that she announced, I'm hoping that that'll come into light.
Butler says at one time, workers sought out the stability of a job with NLHC, but the salaries offered have not kept up with the private sector. City of St. John's is aware of a petition circulating calling on the city to do more to help those who must work into the wee hours in the downtown. VOCM's Linda Swain reports.
The petition was launched after musician Greg Tobin took to Facebook after discovering a boot on his car after a long night entertaining St. Patrick's Day crowds. The city says the petition has not yet been formally submitted to council, but they are open to meeting with groups to better understand their concerns and explore potential solutions. The city says suggestions like expanding loading and unloading zones, identifying short-term parking options, and working with private operators all require collaboration with business and event organizers, among others. Boots are not applied by the city, but by the operators of private lots, and the city does not regulate or oversee those practices. Linda Swain, VOCM, Local News Now.
Up next, your VOCM weather forecast.
When my daughter got her license, I told her
a list of rules that was 10 feet long
to just stay safe. But accidents happen, and after that collision, she needed a lawyer. I thought it was going to be difficult.
So stressful.
But then we called Rogers Moyse.
And they really took care of me.
They were reliable, and they made her feel safe and secure.
I really trusted them.
And now I do too.
Rogers Moyse. We stand for you. Call Rogers Moyse Lawyers at 709-722-3777.
This VOCM weather is brought to you by Vogue Optical, where your second pair is always free. Let Vogue Optical arrange your next eye exam today. Trust us, your eyes will thank you.
St. John's Metro, rest of the Avalon, sun and cloud today, a high of -3, 15 to 25 centimeters of snow at times heavy beginning this evening. Easterlies at 40, a low of -5, 10 to 15 centimeters of snow and ice pellets. That'll change to rain by tomorrow afternoon. Easterlies at 60 and a high of +2. For Clarenville, central Newfoundland, sunshine today, high -2. Up to 10 centimeters of snow overnight, northeasterly winds 30, a low of -6. Snow at times heavy becoming mixed with ice pellets tomorrow, northeasterlies gusting to 80 with a high of -2. South coast, sunshine today, high of -2, 15 to 25 centimeters of snow at times heavy for tonight. Easterlies gusting to 70, low -3. Another 5 to 10 centimeters of snow mixed with ice pellets for tomorrow, northeasterly winds 50 and a high of -1. For the west coast, southwest coast, northern peninsula, sun and cloud today, high -1. Cloudy this evening, light snow overnight, northeasterlies 30, low -9. Light snow for tomorrow, northwesterly winds 40 and a high of -6. Happy Valley Goose Bay today, sunshine, high -7. Clear tonight, low -26. Sunny tomorrow and a high of -4. Labrador West, sunshine today, high -9. Clear tonight, low -30. Sun and cloud tomorrow with a high of -6. And the North Coast, sunshine today, westerly winds 30, high -13. Clear tonight, low -19. And sunny tomorrow with a high of -10. Right now in St. John's, we have sunshine. The temperature is at -5, feels like -11 with the wind chill. Back with an update at 11 o'clock for VOCM News. I'm Sarah Strickland.
This is Open Line on the VOCM Bigland FM radio network.
Welcome back to the program. Wow, I'm looking out the window here, Matt, at the gleaming, beautiful blue skies, sun shooting in through the windows out there. Can we copy and paste this one for tomorrow? Is that okay? Cool with you? I can't believe it's going to be what Sarah just told us it's going to be tomorrow. But anyway, we'll all hang it on her in case if it doesn't happen. And one other quick thing on the boots mentioned in the news there. Yeah, I just want to be clear. We talked about the booting of vehicles and parking spaces. Most people, I didn't say it specifically. It's not a city thing. Of course not. No, these are private operators, private owners of parking lots downtown that do that. The city doesn't have a hand in booting vehicles. They have the enforcement through regular traffic enforcement and, of course, pay by phone and all that fun stuff. All right, let's move on to, we're going to talk a bit of CHMR, Memorial University, with the program director for CHMR, Rhea Rollman, and I think I just lost Colleen, Matt. I'm sorry about that. Colleen Power, news director, also online. We're going to get Colleen back. But first of all, good morning, Rhea.
Good morning.
Thanks for making time for the program. I have to say, this I want to say it caught me off guard. I mean, CHMR, you must be like the tub thumping song. I get knocked down, I get back up again. Because it just feels like there's something around the corner. And we know, in Munn's world right now, it's all about efficiencies, whether you're the actual administration or even Munsu. And I have to say, when I heard Nathan Gillingham the other day, and he's the Director of External Affairs, I heard a clip from him saying that, basically that there was careful consideration with stakeholders, with all stakeholders. And then I learned that you guys never really learned, except through an email at 1 a.m. in the morning, I think Colleen said. If Colleen's back on, I'll get Colleen on the air here now too. Yeah. And now I think I lost Rhea. I think that happens when we click one line. Colleen, you're on the air. How are you?
Hi, good. How are you, Brian?
Thanks again, as I said to Rhea, for making time. I think we just lost her too. But as I was saying, I heard Nathan Gillingham say the other day that there was careful consideration with all stakeholders regarding CHMR and the future of the radio station. What say you?
I say no. No, we're totally left in the dark here at the station. I didn't know anything about this until I got an email from a reporter at the Muse at 1:18 a.m. The morning after the Munsu board meeting, which we were never even told that the shutting down of CHMR would be on the table at that meeting. Had we known, we would have sent representation. One of us would have gone, or both, and a lot more of maybe our volunteers. There's a lot more that meets the eye to shutting down the station. We have a lot of students here right now for the first time since the pandemic. We've got so many volunteers who are just kind of scrambling and with their programs. Where will they all go? Where will all the students go? We've got Jerry Amy now, former executive producer at CBC, in mentoring our news department on a radio documentary. This is all ongoing right now, and to say that a decision will be made on April 1st as to our fate, it's just it's absolutely heartbreaking and shocking.
Yeah, well, I think we've got Rhea back there now too. Do we, Rhea?
Yes, I'm back here
great.
now.
Got you both on different lines. Great. It just strikes me, and I, as you said, Colleen, there's more students now. I said in a particular program. I think there's definitely more students since COVID. I mean, the uptake is there. How is listenership these days and engagement? Because look, I don't want to completely. I'm trying to go at this from both sides. The initial problem I have is the communication again. The fact that of all people to learn about this, you guys were the last, by the sounds of it, media and everybody else. So if you want to speak to that, by all means.
Absolutely, yeah, and maybe just to give a bit of background for anyone who might not be that familiar with CHMR, we are the province's only campus radio station, one of the very few remaining community radio stations here in this province. We've been around for 75 years. For 50 years, we've been broadcasting as a full-fledged radio station. This is actually our 50th anniversary. So in that time, we've trained literally thousands of students who have gone on to successful careers in radio broadcasting, in journalism, technical work, you name it. So we're actually the province's only live hands-on training facility for that kind, this field of work. And we're also, as a community station, we provide programming for the community you will not hear anywhere else. Whether that's third language programming, we've had shows broadcast in, Bengali and in Chinese, Japanese, all kinds of programming for ethnic communities, linguistic communities, religious communities. We're the place that provides that diversity of programming that you will not hear anywhere else. And so we were really blindsided, when we were informed. I'm the station manager, and I still haven't received any formal communication about this happening. Months the motion at the Students' Union meeting completely blindsided us. And we have been the lion's share of our funding comes from the Students' Union, and ever since I took over a few months ago, I've been trying to I identify that as a problem that I don't want to, that's too precarious to rely on any one single source of funding, especially in this day and age where we're seeing cuts at the university, cuts at from government. We're losing community spaces everywhere. And so, I've been trying to meet with the Students' Union, executive to figure out what is a multi-year plan that will enable us to phase out and ultimately eliminate that student union funding while still ensuring the integrity of the service, that we're able to continue, broadcasting and training students and community members and doing all this really important work we're doing.
And unfortunately, now you're forced into a situation where you have to find a solution with a gun to your head, up against the deadline.
Absolutely, and I mean it's really perplexing to us because it doesn't seem to be about funding. We have other sources of funding like our media levy, like we are looking at boosting our fundraising and that sort of thing. But this motion that was presented last week by the Students' Union, it's about not just about cutting off their funding, it's about shutting down the station. Silencing that student voice, that community voice, and putting an end to it regardless of funding. And that is one of the things that really troubles us. And first off, it's not even clear they have the authority to do that. But, even if they cut off their funding, we would still continue trying to provide the service we do with what we have left. To shut down a station, those are federal communications regulations through the CRTC. So MUN can't shut down your station. They can death by 1,000 cuts, or the finality of things that are of these decisions at MUN. I don't mean to, go right back to the old Newfoundland, but it just seems like there's no in between. It's gone or it's not. Yeah, and I think that I've been so touched by the outpouring of support over just a couple of days, hearing from students whose lives have been changed by their time here at the station, whether or not they went into broadcasting careers, simply having a space where they can, even learn those soft skills of, how do you interview, how do you talk to folks, other people, the range of skills you learn when you walk into the space and the relationships you form and, all those soft skills that you learn. You don't get that anywhere else. I've had so many local broadcasters say to me, my degree did nothing to me. It was the time I spent at CHMR.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's where so many people, journalists in this province, have cut their teeth. And Jerry Amy's great. I worked with Jerry at CBC for several years. Great mentor. He's going to, I hope that continues. Hey, Colleen.
I really do. We're all pretty heartbroken, and we're still going to go ahead with our program this week with the students. But, given a date of next Wednesday, April 1st, which actually would be the day before the next Campus Connect radio doc is supposed to air, we're all up in the air. We just really don't know what's going to happen. Jerry Amy has been amazing, and taking the time to come in here and meet and share his expertise and journalism experience with the students, and they're all really enjoying it. And it's just a shame that we are really finding our feet again after the pandemic, and the students are starting to come back again. They're getting their bearings again, and now to see this threat of closure is, like I said, shocking, heartbreaking, and unnecessary, in my opinion.
Have you had any communication, despite the blindside in this last week? What kind of communication has there been with Munsu in since then, if any?
There has not really been. We've had some. We're trying to get access to a grant that we're supposed to have, and so we've been trying communication around that. But like I said, as station manager, I've not received any formal communication around this yet at all. And just to flip the other one of the other important aspects of this is that it's going to impact the students and certainly the journalistic community. We have so few sources of local journalism left in this province, but also the music and arts community. CHMR has played such a vitally important role showcasing local bands, local music. It's we're kind of the funnel that a lot of up and coming musicians get to the rest of the country through our exchanges with other campus stations around the country. And when you look at how the cuts at Memorial University have really impacted the arts, when you look at like next door in Nova Scotia, the cuts to the arts going on there, to lose another bastion of our local arts and music and culture community is just going to be, heartbreaking for that entire sector.
Yeah, and that's not an exaggeration, a bastion. I 100% agree. Again, I'm taking the position that this is a proposal before Monsu, and that there may be, it's not, thank goodness, not just a willy-nilly decision by, say, the Senate or something that is done and forget it. I also wanted to mention, Colleen mentioned COVID and the popularity of some of the programs. I also heard Nathan Gillingham mention, I think he said, like, the media landscape is changing and radio is not the constant. What? Where would we have been without radio during Snowmageddon? I've got 4 words for anyone who thinks radio is going away. Snowmageddon.
Yep. Absolutely. And
I'm an English guy. I can spell 4 words.
It's really troubling around the country seeing the dismantling of a lot of radio infrastructure because, internet is not reliable in situations of, climate disasters, wildfires, storms. We need that infrastructure. And just to counter too, we certainly recognize a changing media landscape. Radio is like the core of what we do. We're also producing podcasts. We're refitting one of our studios for video work. We have students coming in, with ideas for social media, and we're here to kind of incubate those ideas and help them get where they want to be. So yeah, I'd say we are, staying right at the forefront of that, while also, keeping the core of what we do, which is that radio, and not losing that. It's so exciting that we have our radio license, and
Absolutely.
That is not easy to get.
And it's hard, it's hard for me to be completely unbiased here because I work in radio. I have been a journalist mostly with radio my entire life, and I followed it. What can I say? I'm a little bit of skin in the game here, but I'm also completely open to hearing from Monsu. And, sometimes the silence speaks volumes, and I'd love to hear from Nathan Gillingham. I'm just re-quoting what I heard him say last week, so nothing out of toward. I certainly would welcome the other side of this and a good explanation of why they approached it the way they did.
Can I just add something, if that's okay?
Yeah, sure. I got a minute left there, Colin. Go for it.
Okay. I just want to add that, if you go on the CHMR News Instagram account, you can see all of the work that we are doing to promote local music, to show what our students are doing here. I mean, we have tagged Monsu in every post up until the announcement, and they have never acknowledged anything of the work that we do, never shared anything.
Well, that was maybe foretelling. If it's just in recent times, because when nobody wants to be out, saying things that aren't going to happen. So, the silence again is deafening, and I would look forward to Monsu just so we can even out this discussion and get both sides of the story, because that's what you do in journalism, correct?
Absolutely. And that's what we're here for, is facilitating those community conversations.
Yep, absolutely. And I say both sides. Sometimes there's a lot more than 2 sides to a story. And
Absolutely.
And I welcome all of them. The melting pot that Mon is right now, as you mentioned, all the different... Listen, we can have Punjabi in Hockey Night in Canada. We can damn well have it on CHMR.
Absolutely. That's
Especially
what we're here
with
for.
the population. My goodness. The student population. All right, but listen, thanks again for both of you. I know it's a busy time, so thanks for both making time for the show.
Thanks so much.
And whatever you hear, Rhea and Colleen, whatever you hear, any news on this front, let us know.
Thank you so much.
We're super proud of our volunteers and our students here at CHMR. We have so much pride in the work that takes place at the station.
Yeah, volunteers again, hey. Great stuff. Thanks again. Look forward to hearing from you. Any updates?
Thank you.
Okay, take care.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, I'm a little bit over, and then let's take that break, Matt, and we'll come right back with Joan after the break.
Call now, 709-273-5211 or 1-888-590-8626. Newfoundland and Labrador's biggest conversation. VOCM Open Line returns in a moment.
Mornings aren't complete until you know what's happening in your backyard. And we get that. VOCM is your station for a full helping of news to fuel your day. Stay ahead of changing headlines and never miss a story. Join Sarah Strickland for the province's most comprehensive morning news, weekdays at 7:45, part of your VOCM Mornings. The most important news stories as you start your day. Brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires on Newfoundland and Labrador's news leader, VOCM.
The Healthcare Foundation Home Lottery is back. Win big with the $1.4 million grand prize Ocean View Show Home, custom built by McIntyre Homes, plus $50,000. Enjoy the trip of a lifetime with the French Polynesian Adventure bonus prize, a 7-night getaway for two, cruising the world's most romantic destinations, plus the BMW convertible early bird prize, or $75,000. Help strengthen healthcare right here at home. Buy now at hcfhomelottery.ca.
In a world where savings are rare, one optical store is changing the game. Vogue Optical is bringing back the ultimate sale. 50% off every frame in the store.
Yep, every frame, 50% off. Don't wait, this deal won't last forever. Hurry in to your nearest Vogue Optical location and get 50% off your new frames today. See store for details.
A relaxing day at the lake without a Toyota Tundra can be noisy. But when you get a Tundra at your local Toyota dealer, you can take advantage of up to 11,000 pounds of towing capacity to find a quieter spot. That's better. Lease a 2026 Tundra 4x4 Crew Cab SR from $356 bi-weekly for 60 months. Visit shoptoyota.ca or your local Atlantic Toyota dealer today.
Okay, Newfoundland and Labrador, are you ready? Because we are. With over 100 years of combined audiovisual, concert sound, and lighting experience, Canadian AV is your trusted locally owned provider of event technology. When you're at a trade show, concert, or gala event, the chances are we're right there with you. So whether you need event and live streaming support, a sound system, or a projector and screen, we have what you need. Canadian AV. Be seen, be heard, be remembered.
Visit CanadianAVInc.com.
My name is Courtney Seymour, and I'm an intake specialist with McGillivray Injury Law. I grew up in Upper Island Cove and spent a lot of time with my pop, who was a fisherman. We'd go to the beach, pick blueberries, and watch the fishing boats go out and return with their catch in the summer. Spending time with my pop taught me a lot about how hardworking Newfoundlanders are and how well we take care of our neighbors. I live in St. John's now and get to help injured people from my hometown get the compensation they deserve. McGillivray Injury Law, Newfoundland's trusted name for injury victims and people denied disability benefits.
For over 50 years, Automotive Supplies Limited has been your local, family-owned choice for car parts. Why choose us? Because we believe in supporting our own. Shopping with us keeps jobs and money right here in our community. We're proud to source our parts from Canadian suppliers. Find us at 3 convenient locations: 33 Stavanger Drive, 1222 Topsail Road, and 99 Conception Bay Highway. Automotive Supplies Limited. We've got the parts to make your car purr.
We're the Newfoundland Chocolate Company. Come visit us and experience our chocolate waterfalls and our taps overflowing with creamy chocolate here at Newfoundland's own Chocolate Factory on Torbay Road. See our entire collection of Easter chocolate featuring bunnies. Aww. Baby bunnies, great big bunnies, and Wabbity Grand Band bunnies. We make creamy milk chocolate, decadent dark, and smooth white chocolate bunnies with local ingredients like Newfoundland blueberries and homemade biscotti. The perfect gift this Easter is Newfoundland chocolate.
VOCM Open Line is brought to you by Janes and Noseworthy, licensed insolvency trustees. It's okay to get help with your debt, and finding someone local you can trust makes all the difference.
This is Open Line on the VOCM Big Land FM radio network.
And welcome back to the show. Let's go right to line number 3. And Joan, you're on the air.
Good morning. How are you today?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
Yeah, in reaction to the conversation you just had about radio,
yeah,
I totally be lost about radio. The first thing I do in the morning is my radio comes on.
There you go. It speaks for itself.
And it's on till after supper. And if it's not VOCM, it's VOWR.
There you go. Yeah, and listen, I grew up in a house the radio was always on, even if it was just on quietly, and maybe even turned up a bit when we all went out. You know, it was the old saying, keep the radio on a bit loud. Maybe if one breaks in, they'll think there's somebody home because they'll hear voices. But we always had the radio on. Day, night, never mattered. And we all know during COVID, without a couple of batteries and a radio power, where were you?
It's right. Yeah. Why I called this morning, I was at a store in the Village Mall yesterday morning, and while I was waiting to be served, I noticed this lady, and she didn't look very happy. She was talking to the young lady who was serving her, and you could tell that she was saying what she was saying. I could not hear a word of what she was saying, but by her demeanor, you could see she was putting this young lady down. The supervisor came over talking to her, And the same thing, the action with the supervisor was just ridiculous. Her hands were going and her gestures, you know. And as she was leaving, she was still getting on with this, the way talking back to her. But like I said, I could not hear a word that was being said. So as I went out to check out, I could see that the young lady was really upset. I looked at her and said, don't mind her. She wasn't very nice. And there's no need of, talking to you like that. And she didn't answer. She just served me very nice, very quiet. And then the supervisor said, yes, there's no need of that. She said, I don't take, anybody putting on my workers like that. There's just no need. And I kept on, I said a couple of things to the young one. And I said, I don't think you did anything wrong. You weren't being nasty or anything else. And for her to keep putting you down, there's just no need. And this other lady came over and she said, I heard every word and there was no need. She said, you didn't do anything wrong. And as I looked up, the young lady, the tears just ran. And the supervisor gave her a hug and said, you go on in the back room, take a little rest, that's okay. But you know what this is all over? Some Easter bunny pictures that you put on a window or something. Like, even if the young one did charge her twice or charge more, just bring it up to her. But not to put her down to the fact that she left, her work site in that space.
It's not fit. We've all seen it. We've seen it. And it's awkward, it's uncomfortable, it's distressing, it's upsetting, and it upsets everybody. We have to be so wary of our surroundings and what we say. And people, I'm telling you, nerves are frayed for a lot of people these days. If you're in buying something, chances are, especially, it doesn't matter where it is. If you're buying anything these days, you're looking at the price, you're stressed about this, you're stressed about that. But in no uncertain terms, there's just no room for losing that on other ones without any excuse. I mean, look, again, I'm not justifying any of it. I know people are on edge, and any little thing can set people off. You don't know who you're dealing with these days, whether it's driving and pulling up to a light. We've all seen it. I've seen some crazy road rage stuff. People actually getting out of cars and going after people because they're upset. But you just can't engage. You might look. We all make mistakes. We all forget an indicator. We all, we've all done it. So, we should have to look at each other first, at ourselves first. But these kind of things, and against, employees, and I don't know the store, and we can leave the store out of it. But, in retail, it's hard enough to get by these days. And you got people working in, part-time jobs, and it's probably one of three they have. And they're trying to get from there to there. And they're trying to buy food maybe for a single mom trying to buy food for the kids. And trying to, the bills are on the back of the brain. And you're trying to just do your job. And you get someone who comes up and takes a strip off you for no reason at all.
And by her reaction, you go see her hands going and, head nodding. And I said, oh, my God, that's ridiculous, And
we don't know what people are dealing with. I mean, look, just because you're not incarcerated or not, in a center or something, we all have our triggers. You can get upset about stuff, but you got to be self-aware, and you can't lose your mind in public. And if you do, then there's a different story and a different conversation to be had.
Yeah. I mean, more than once I got charged a bit more and all that. Just bringing to her attention, and then I said, that's okay. Just you certainly don't tell them off for nothing.
No, but it can take the smallest things, and it can be an Easter egg bunny script picture, or it can be. It could be the wrong price on a bit of chicken that you just got. It's always, I don't know. Yeah. But we've all seen it. It's troubling sometimes, and it just reminds you that, people are. There's a lot of frayed nerves out there, Joan. I hate to say it, and we just we all got to try to just keep a level head on us when we're out in public, and even when we're in private. But out in public, you're out there, and you have to do your best to stay civil. That's all I can say.
Yeah, just take a deep breath and be kind.
As best we can, because it's not easy these days, only because of all the things coming at us, right? But, Joan, I appreciate the call. Anything else before we let you go?
No, thank you very much. Enjoy this sunny day before storming tomorrow.
I will. We will. Everyone should. Good advice. Thanks a lot, Joan.
Thank you.
Okay, take care. Bye. All right, lines have loosened up, people. So if you want to get in on the action, there's about an hour and a half left in the show today. Of course, the weather, and there's lots of updates on the international scene as well, which I can get into. But yeah, lines are loosened up. So if you got something on your mind, anything I mentioned, and of course, as always, just because I didn't mention it, there's no way. I have a list of things that I could just raft off, but I'm also looking for your ideas. So yeah, 273-5211, 1-888-590-VOCM. We'll be right back.
Call now, 709-273-5211 or 1-888-590-8626. Newfoundland and Labrador's biggest conversation. VOCM Open Line returns in a moment.
Your home is your fortress against the winter cold. But is it defended against pests? Mice are seeking warmth and can get in through the smallest cracks. Republic Pest Solutions is your local defense against winter pests. With over 20 plus years of industry experience, they know how to keep your property and family safe. Don't wait for an invasion. Call Republic Pest Solutions at 709-301-2530 or visit republicpestsolutions.com. The local solution to your pest problem.
Newfoundland Distributors, your local Milwaukee tool experts since 2010. From power tools to fasteners, they've got you covered. Newfoundland Distributors carries a large selection of Milwaukee power tools, pack-out storage, and accessories to help you get the job done, including carbide bits, fasteners, and more. Newfoundland Distributors is also an authorized Milwaukee service and warranty center. We stand behind the products we sell to eliminate downtime on your job site. Visit nldistributor.ca or follow on Facebook for upcoming Milwaukee sales events and their latest tool flyer.
Hey, I'm Ryan Reynolds, and if you're like me, you never stop wondering what the future holds. The one thing I do know is that you'll be able to enjoy my maple butter glazed donut at Tim Hortons because it's so fluffy and delicious that it'll never come off the menu. Never, ever, ever. Try it today at Tim's.
When we help our neighbors, it makes us all stronger. The VOCM Cares Foundation invests in local charities to help with disaster relief, healthcare, children's needs, food banks, and more. We fund charities that strengthen our communities, that bring us together and help us take care of each other. Your donation to the VOCM Cares Foundation is a gift to your community because in Newfoundland and Labrador, we care about our neighbors. To learn more or to make a donation, please visit vocmcares.com.
Goodbyes are never easy, but when you're saying goodbye to winter, things change. It's time to kick off those winter tires and get ready for the open roads. Call your Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram dealer to book a seasonal tire changeover, included free with our Peace of Mind maintenance service. And if your tires could use an upgrade, enjoy our tire price match guarantee or our buy 3 tires and get the 4th free offer. Offers are exclusive and can't be combined. We built it. We know it.
In a world where savings are rare, one optical store is changing the game. Vogue Optical is bringing back the ultimate sale. 50% off every frame in the store.
Yep, every frame, 50% off. Don't wait, this deal won't last forever. Hurry in to your nearest Vogue Optical location and get 50% off your new frames today. See store for details.
Are you overwhelmed by debt and getting non-stop calls from creditors? It can feel like there's no escape. Debt doesn't have to be a life sentence. A single call can turn things around. My name is Nancy Snedden. I'm a licensed insolvency trustee at BDO right here in Newfoundland. I can help you become debt-free with a solution just for you. Let's put an end to those calls from creditors together. Call 1-833-BDO-TALK or visit bdodebt.ca to discover your debt-free future.
Guess what? There's an alternative to long wait times at big box stores for your building supplies. Powers is your locally owned building supply company in the heart of the city on Rope Walk Lane. The Power Brothers have the big brands in paint, doors, windows, flooring, trim, and so much more to make your renovations quick and easy. When you stop at Powers, you won't feel like you went on an excursion because they help you load and go with what you want. Call 722-1720 or visit them on Facebook. That's Powers on Rope Walk Lane.
To ensure your beverage containers are accepted at the Green Depot, prepare them properly. Please remove caps, straws, garbage, and liquid. Ensure labels are left on and containers are not crushed or broken. Give them a rinse, and they'll get the green light. Learn more at mmsb.nl.ca.
This is Open Line on the VOCM Big Land FM radio network.
Welcome back to the program. Already getting some ahead of the game, getting ahead of the curve cancellations for tomorrow. we'll compile them all anyway. We're going to have a storm page up, of course, the famous VOCM storm page. We'll be in action now later today as we start getting a few more, but I won't get into all of them now. Get some callers there, but yeah, they're coming in early. I do note that I did get a note from the Stephenville Provincial Court, which is closed to the public today. Doesn't say why, just says for all inquiries, call the court, 643-2966. But sorry, that was a notice I got due around 9:30. And I had some trouble opening up that particular email. So Provincial Court in Stephenville closed for the public today. Don't know exactly what that's about. And yes, in response to an emailer, yes, I thought I mentioned that the tragic Air Canada crash at LaGuardia in New York last night, that was an Air Canada Express. I thought I mentioned that. Most people know it's a contractor. It's, as we say, similar to Jazz and that sort of thing that operate in this province. But it is an Air Canada flight. You would have booked it through Air Canada, so that's why I said it. But it is an express flight, and you can see that labeled right on the side of her. Let's go right to line number 1, and Bob, you're on the air.
How you doing today, me old buddy?
Pretty good, boy. Fair to middling, my friends used to say.
That's good, buddy. We're getting ready for the storm coming in, ain't she?
Yes, and it's March the 23rd. Not that should surprise us, Bob, but, I don't know. But it could be worse, I suppose.
Out like a lion, as they say. Hey, bye.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, let's get into it. I got a few quick topics I want to touch on that everybody's listening.
Yes, by give her.
And it's going to seem odd, but the price of gas, I say they should drive it up. And it's true, because a couple of things happens, man. Like, if you cut yourself 1,000 times and you're bleeding out, or versus you cut yourself once, you can contain the one big bleed, but 1,000 cuts kills this are putting up 5 cents, 10 cents, 5 cents, 10 cents. If I were them, throw it up to $3.50. Put it up. Same with the light bill, crank her up, put it up as high as you can get it, because change occurs. You get people in, they start thinking, you know what, gas is expensive, I got to start changing how I spend my money. Now, I'm below average. I don't make a lot of money. But it makes you move and makes you think, you know what I'm saying? I'd rather see it go all the way up one shot than just 5 and 10 cents every other day.
Yeah, the only problem is we don't know where all the way up goes. And let's face it, that's not probably the most popular opinion out there, Bob. But I hear where your outside-the-box thinking is going. But, and that would be okay if it were normal terms, that if this was just one of those market fluctuations that, we all got to deal with. But this is a war of choice. A war we didn't need. It didn't have to happen. and I say that because we have no good reason why it happened. The
I don't agree with any kind of war, my buddy. I don't agree with it. Yeah. We're grown adults. Anybody can sit down and negotiate. There's no need of blowing up buildings and destroying them poor families over there that, collateral damage, let's say. There's no need of all of that over oil and gas. There's plenty of oil and gas in the world.
Yeah, look, war and religion, right? I mean, that's not going to be solved anytime soon. And this goes back well before 1948 even. So, look, and in many ways, the United States are the authors of their own demise and own problems here, because they got involved in the 50s, early 50s, put in the Shah, and look what that got them. And then 79, and we can get into all then the hostage state. Look, it's forever and a day, and the problem most people have with it is there's just no reason given. It was all bad enough that, we only found out years after the fact that the invasion of Iraq, the war in Iraq for weapons of mass destruction, they never existed. So, we watch again how we tread down this road, and until I have a good reason, other than the fact that they're filling Russia's pockets, I'm sure Mr. Trump is aware of that. I always have worries about what kind of, because we know they go deeper into how this is going to play out and what the repercussions and what the ramifications are. I have no doubt they knew that the Strait of Hormuz would cause what it's causing. But when you look at the changing story and the contradictions that continue to come out, and I would note that apparently as of this morning, Trump has now sort of delayed. They're saying he's delayed his the 24-hour deadline for the Strait of Hormuz to reopen, saying, quote, they're having productive discussions or conversations with Iran. Meanwhile, Iran just issued a statement saying there's no dialogue whatsoever. It's bull. And there's nothing going on. There's no talking. So what do you believe? If you can't believe it, then we're in a really dark place, because it's just nothing you can believe. And so we have no excuses. We're only left to supposition and wonder and rumorize.
I always said, believe half what you see and nothing what you hear. That was my motto.
So you must be rolling.
And another thing. Oh, I tell you, buddy, I got the life lessons here today. I tell you that.
Keep going.
And I tell you, I got another question. Now, that doctor, now, was that a part-time income for him and he had an additional income coming in as well?
Well, you know what? It'd be nice to know that for sure, Bob. I'm not going to pontificate and guess and suppose. I mean, the conspiracy theorists and the critics and the opposition especially, aren't going to let...
Incomes? Yep. Sound like he had two incomes, because I don't mean cut you off there, but...
No, you go.
I'm going to tell you something now. I had a young fellow with epilepsy, undiagnosed for many, many years, because they couldn't get a hold of a frigging doctor. And here we got a doctor there now. These are smart fellas with two incomes, with a part-time income up over almost $500,000, and you're working full-time anyway. I mean, it's absolutely absurd, and the government should know better to have done that. And I don't care what Mr. Wakeham says, and I hope he's listening too, because he can come sit down at my table. Two wrongs don't make a right, and that was a wrong thing to do.
It's very simple for me. If there's nothing wrong and if there's nothing to see here, why not come out and announce it? Just say it. Put it in a news release. Tell people it's happening, as opposed to the after-the-fact blow-up, where it gets revealed in the media, and then the opposition jump on it, and then it takes up half a question period, and then it takes up half of the scrums and questions for ministers afterward, which really they should be answering more important questions, such as early childhood educators, such as nurses, such as doctor shortages, such as on and on and on it goes.
And housing.
And housing. Oh, my God, don't get me started. I covered that housing.
Money,
covered the housing audit last week. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Putting some money back into the people's pockets, like government grants, like community cleanup grants and community better preparations and building trails. And, back in the day, there was all kinds of grants to have the people who weren't or on income support. They could top up their pay to get them a little bit, they can walk to Waterford Valley and, let's say, pick up trash, or go to all the parks, Victoria Park, Hippie Park, places like that, and they get their 40 hours a week, and they get their unemployment, and they start to feel a bit better about themselves, and they get those social networking skills, talking to fellas, and getting up early and getting into the routine,
Yep, I do know. And maybe, all that money that you say, flyer up and everything, I don't know how much they're I do know generally that's about $25 million for every dollar that the barrel of oil goes up that the province reaps. Maybe they could put all that money into that. I mean, look, if there's only a bright side, it would be the fact that the provincial coffers should be filling up right now, even though when we fill up, we get nailed and we get fleeced at the pump. But it's always been that trade-off. Hey, Bob.
I have another question for you. One more now.
Go.
It might be a two-part one, but the first part is the 7-day food fishery. Did I see Tom Osborne's face on that with that other girl,
Fisheries Minister Joanne Thompson?
Yeah, did they vote no against the 7-day food fishery?
Did they vote? Oh, my God. I feel like I'm being asked, where's the FPSO right now? They've been accused of turning their back on it, that's for sure.
Because, Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, and PEI, they all went for the 7-day food fishery. I see her going out talking to everybody over there, and I heard Tom Osborne calling on, talking about the truth, but yet you voted against the 7-day food fishery, that people can actually put food on their plates in these tempestuous times. Yep. It could help a lot of people at this moment in time. And it doesn't have to be a 7-day food fishery forever. You can do it for 2 years.
Yeah, I see Jonathan Rowe, the Tory MP, the new Tory MP for Terra Nova and the Peninsulas, had, and again, the way he described it, that the Liberals showed that they don't care about the recreational food fishery, and they don't care about Newfoundlanders because the private member's bill to get that fair 7-day that you were talking about was voted down by them. But, there's more to that story than meets the eye. I mean, on the surface, what MP is going to vote against the food fishery? But there's other details to that are, it's not as simple as that. When you get to the point where you just say blanketly that they voted against the food fishery, we all know that that's not the case. The words matter, right?
Right. So we don't know I still don't know if they voted against it or nay or yay. I've been looking it up on top.
Yeah, they voted against Bill C-237, and again, when I'm not doing this job for all time, I'm in other stuff past week, and I do my best to do as much research I can get. I'm going to do a little bit more looking deep into that, because I never want to say that one group of MPs all voted this, because there's so much more to that meets the eye, whether or not what stage that bill is at, and they always have another explanation afterwards. Or any one of them, the horse's mouth, would like to clarify, whether it's the minister, Joanne Thompson, or the MP, Mr. Osborne, or any of the Liberal MPs that voted against it, if they want to clarify that as well, so we can put it both on the record. Bob, right past the break, do you want to clue up? I'll give you a minute to clue up.
No, but yeah, sounds good, old buddy, and that's the reason why I phones the radio. I'm sorry that Mun is losing their journalism on the radio, because the radio is a good source of information, is trusted, and is not fake, and it's very reliable, and doing a good job, old buddy.
I really appreciate it, and all true.
All right, buddy.
Great. Take care. Have a great day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bye.
Take care. Bye. Okie dokie. Right. A couple of minutes over, Matt. I'm so sorry. Let's take that break and come back. Ed's going to talk about boots on vehicles and whatever you want to talk about right after the break.
Call now, 709-273-5211 or 1-888-590-8626. Newfoundland and Labrador's biggest conversation. VOCM Open Line returns in a moment.
It's time for your Money Minute with BDO License Insolvency Trustee Nancy Snedden. Nancy, what's your advice for everyone struggling with the cost of living right now?
This is a good question. Many people are living paycheck to paycheck, and it can feel like a real struggle to get ahead. If you're struggling to make ends meet, the first thing to do is to create a budget. It's the only way to see where you're spending your money and identify ways to save consistently. Reducing spending is also important, and I know that it can be challenging when many of us have already cut back so much. But if there's any way to lower your costs, you should do it. Finally, look at your debt. Do you have a plan to pay it off? If not, it's time to create a plan to tackle that. If your debt feels insurmountable and you can't see how you'll ever be able to pay it off, a licensed insolvency trustee like me can help. I'm a licensed professional who can help you take control of your finances. I can reduce the amount you owe overall and your monthly payments. I'm here to help you without judgment.
Take care of your financial health. For more helpful advice on managing debt, visit bdodebt.ca to book a free consultation.
The Wilds Resort and Conference Center is the perfect place for your team to think, plan, and reconnect. You don't need to go far. You just need to arrive somewhere special. Not sure where to start? Our dedicated planning team can make every step effortless. With flexible meeting spaces and a range of accommodations, hotel rooms, villas, and cottages, bringing everyone together is easy. Add outdoor experiences city hotels can offer, and your team leaves inspired. Just 45 minutes from the city. Discover a 4-season group destination at thewilds.ca.
Are you a man who's retired or going through big changes? Maybe you're missing a routine, a community, a purpose, or you just have extra time on your hands. Ever heard of a men's shed? Across Canada, men's sheds bring guys together to work on projects, share skills, give back, and have coffee. No pressure, just good company. There may not be a men's shed near you yet, but there could be. Men's Sheds Canada and Seniors NL can help you get one started. Curious how a shed can change your day, your week, even your life? Visit mensshedscanada.ca/NL.
In an uncertain world, we all need a firm foundation in a province called the Rock. We understand the importance of a solid base in life. When the ground keeps shifting beneath us, we need a reliable compass to navigate with confidence, to be grounded in that which cannot move. It's found in a loving God, a living Savior, our rock, refuge, and hope in a world where we need all three. Tune to the Old Stories Sundays at 10 a.m. on VOCM.
Subway's meal of the day is just $8.99. It's a win every day of the week. A 6-inch sub, a drink, and a side. 7 days, 7 subs, $8.99. Price and participation may vary.
Your home, your business, your reputation. When pests show up, you need a team that shows up too. Viking Pest Management is locally owned and trusted across Newfoundland and Labrador. From carpenter ants and rodents to full residential and commercial pest management programs, we protect what matters most. Your home, your business. We're core certified. Safety is always our priority. And when you call, you'll speak with someone right here at home. We know pests, so call the best. 709-700-3500.
Your summer. Your VOCM. Your VOCM.
Love being out in the community, talking to people, joining in on local events. VOCM has the perfect summer job for you. We're looking for a host for your summer, your VOCM. Represent the station at events, promotions, and live broadcasts around the metro. Confident on the mic? Energetic? Social media savvy? We want you. Send your resume to careersnl@stingray.com. Your summer starts here on VOCM.
Think you're okay to drive after a few drinks? Think again. Every year, impaired driving kills and injures hundreds of Canadians. It's not just your life on the line, it's everyone else's too. Make the smart choice. Call a cab, use a rideshare, or crash on a friend's couch. A few bucks now could save a life later. It's just not worth it. Don't drink and drive.
This is Open Line on the VOCM Big Land FM radio network.
And welcome back to the show. As promised, let's go to Ed. And Ed, you're on the air.
Yes, how are you doing this morning?
Good, sir. How are you?
Carlo. I want to talk about those boots that they put on their cars and that.
Yeah, not the boots we'll need tomorrow night, morning and tonight.
No, you got it right. I think they should be banned, you know, because I was out in town there by the fish store, and there's a big parking lot there, so I never seen no signs or nothing. I hauled in there, and anyway, I went into a birthday party, and when I come out, there she was, buddy, boot on my vehicle. And they had a ribbon from my handle going right down to the boot, you know, so I could see it, you know, that way, right?
Right.
Okay, so anyway, you know, you get all frustrated and all upset and everything like that. So I was really, 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 really mad, you know, and I was right ready to tear his head off, you know, something like that, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, okay, here I am in the parking lot with a boot on the vehicle. Now, there's four of them there. I was the fifth one.
Jeez.
So anyway, I didn't know how much money they paid for to get the boot off, right? Anyway, so this missus phoned the place up, you know, trying to find it, because she was all upset too. And so anyway, what happened was, here was this guy, you know, in his car, you know, and then he got out, and he went up talking to Mrs. up there, and this is the guy that took the boots off the cars, see? So anyway, when it come to my turn, so I said to him, I said, how much money is it going to cost for that boot to come off my vehicle? And you know what he said to me? He said it's going to cost $130 to get that boot taken off your vehicle.
It's an expensive boot.
I was telling, man, was I so mad, I'm telling you. Now, what about if people haven't got the money, you know what I mean, to pay for this robbery? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you need a credit card in most cases.
But I see the people there, you know, hitting his machine there, right? So I never had one of those. So anyway, so what I've done, I had $200 in the wallet. That's what I had, and I paid him cash, $130 to get that boot off of my vehicle. Now I said to him, I want the receipt to show that I paid you $130. And you know what he gave me? A napkin with everything on there.
Yeah, it's not worth $130. Bob, look, you know, yeah, look, again, it's not city legislation, but the private lot, you know, owners reserve the right to reserve their lot for whoever they want in their lot. So, look, you know, there is a bit of Parker beware here. There's no question about that. Look, I mean, if you've ever had an experience, look, if you completely are oblivious to the fact that this exists, that's one thing. If you know the risk exists and you can read and you can see, and I'm not suggesting anybody can't, but, you know, we all park in certain
You know, I can't read. I'm not that good a reader, right? So I didn't, now, when I went in on the parking lot, there was no signs up saying about the boots or nothing like that. There was I noticed a sign sideways as you went in, you know, that way. But like I said, I had a problem reading. So, you know, I never seen no boots. See, you know, two cars there, and I just went in between two of them. Then I went into the party, and when I come out, here it was, buddy.
Yeah, because...
But I guarantee you one thing. I got to tell you this one.
Yep.
Now, I'm going to take something in my vehicle, and I guarantee you one thing. The next boot goes on my vehicle, I'm chopping it off. Now, what do you think of that one?
What are you going to chop it off with?
Oh, you got to sit down and think about that one.
Not a lot of us have those industrial saws in the vehicle. But I will say this, you know, about Ed, you just mentioned a good point. Maybe if there was an actual picture of a boot with $130 right on top of it, saying park here and this is what you get. Maybe that, you know, maybe a little bit more of a dissuade, because a lot of times you see no parking sign and people say, oh, look, I got to get there. I'll eat the 30 or $50, maybe what it is for this one night. Even on the off chance that I get a ticket, you might take that risk. But I'll tell you, if you know that the penalty is a boot and you can't get at your vehicle later, you're probably going to park somewhere else.
Yes, I did see a boot, but it was in the snow. You know, it wasn't standing up.
It's a good place for it.
Snow, right? So I just kept on walking, you know, like that, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, I want to talk about another subject.
Yes, but I got a couple minutes. Go for it.
Yeah, okay. These tinted windows in the cars. One time there were harming cars in for tinted windows, but I've noticed now there's a lot of cars going around and they're tinted, and there's nobody, you know, the policemen around and not harming them to stop it, you know?
There's some.
I don't know what they can do.
Yeah, but look, Ed, I'm with you. It's another thing that I notice a lot, and I know it's clearly a Highway Traffic Act issue and punishable. But I think, you know, when you think about how many are out there with the tinted windows, and, you know, it's just not supposed to be altered after manufacture, and some of them actually come with it in the manufacturer, and you got to be aware of that depending on the jurisdiction you're in.
They're really dark, right? You know, they're black.
Yep.
You know, you can't see nothing.
And it's totally illegal. But when you think about all the things that police have got on their plates these days, and the time it takes to pull somebody over for that, as opposed to some of the other stuff that they're racing to these days and trying to deal with, and to a man and a woman, you ask a police officer these days, it ain't what it used to be. So it takes time for just a normal traffic stop like that. And in the end, these days they will weigh the reward that comes with that, whether or not it's a fine that might, you know, eventually make its way to the provincial government coffers through a ticket, although we know enough people out there driving around with $20,000, $30,000, $50,000 in unpaid fines, right? So that's a tough one, right?
I have another thing about the boot there now. So anyway, I was begging him to, you know, let me go, right? Let me go, you know, just take it off. He said, and you know what he said to me? He said, I can't let you go. I said, what do you mean you can't let me go? He said, I took a picture of your license plate and I sent it to the office.
So they know.
That's what he said.
Yeah, jeez. Listen, I don't want to be them either, to be honest with you. Having to confront pretty angry owners of vehicles at 1, 2, and 3 in the morning sometimes. Especially, you know, you go to a party, good time, come out, ruined.
Yeah. I mean, I thought I was drinking Pepsi all day, you know?
Yeah.
Went to the little party line, having a grand old time, and come out, and I seen that, man. Your hair come out of the body, right? Man, was I ever upset over that?
Yeah.
And I never asked other people, like, how much did they pay? You know what I mean? I just want to get the boot off, get out of there, you know, like that.
And then once you get home, you want something a little stiffer than a Pepsi after dealing with that.
Yeah, I would say, man, $130. I mean, I had a real bad day. You know what I'm saying?
I always say it could be worse. Ed, I got to get off to the news. I really appreciate the call. Don't be a stranger.
Okay, my friend. Thank you. God love it. Have a super day.
You too. Thanks a lot.
God love. Bye.
Okay, take care. All right, that's Ed there. And listen, I'm all over that conversation. There's so many different facets to it again. And if Glenn Party's out there, I meant to send you a note, Glenn, if you wanted to give me your experience, musicians and getting booted downtown. That extra weight and cost that goes on a musician can ruin the night and any money you made in your gig. Anyway, I said we were going to the news. I delayed it, and now I apologize. And off to the news we go, and we'll be right back.
You're listening to the VOCM Bigland FM radio network.
Stingray radio stations.
Local news now. A VOCM news update.
This news presented by Mako Hearing Service, 84 Thorburn Road. Phone 726-HEAR. That's 726-4327.
At 11 o'clock, we have sunshine, the temperature at -4 in St. John's. Good morning. I'm Sarah Strickland. The provincial court in Stephenville is closed to the public today due to a shortage of sheriff's officers. The court is hoping to resume operations tomorrow. Stephenville is already hearing matters from Port aux Basques after the circuit court there was abruptly suspended last fall. The circuit court in Baie Verte was also indefinitely suspended, along with all civil and traffic hearings and Contraventions Act cases. A working group was formed by government to address matters facing the courts and is expected to report to government in the coming weeks. RNC has apprehended one of two men wanted in connection with a recent assault in Corner Brook, but the search continues for the second suspect. Police issued arrest warrants last week after someone was attacked with bear spray at a home in the city. RNC say 21-year-old Joshua Roberts was arrested without incident on Friday on charges of assault with a weapon, possession of a weapon for a dangerous purpose, administering a noxious substance, and failures to comply with release and probation orders. The search continues for 40-year-old Todd Berry. He is 6 feet 1 inch tall with hazel eyes and brown and gray hair. Police warn he may be armed and dangerous and are urging the public not to approach him, but to contact police immediately. A new Angus Reid survey shows, not surprisingly, that Canadians already struggling to make ends meet are more concerned than ever about the rising cost of living. Close to 70% of Canadian households earning less than $50,000 a year say it's the highest rate in 3.5 years, according to Angus Reid's John Rowe.
The cost of living has been the top issue that Canadians have said is facing the country since basically September 2022. It's gone up and down a little bit, but it's been between 55% and 60% of Canadians saying that's the top issue facing the country. So it's been very consistent that that's something that Canadians are worried about, despite the fact that inflation has cooled somewhat. It's not quite as crazy as it was in 2022 or in 2023, but Canadians are still feeling the effects of those price increases.
A new report says the top streaming platforms charge Canadian customers on average 7% more in 2025 than the previous year. Michelle Zadikian reports for the Canadian Press.
Despite facing higher prices, the annual Couch Potato report says consumers are continuing to pivot from traditional TV to alternatives like Crave, Netflix, and Disney+. The report by Convergence Research says the trend comes as streamers continue to push viewers toward plans that include advertisements. Those packages cost less for subscribers, but drive additional revenue for the streaming companies because they're able to sell ads. Packages with advertising are on average 42% cheaper than similar offers without ads. Michelle Zedikian, The Canadian Press.
Up next, your VOCM weather forecast.
Discover the future of hearing with Mako Hearing's latest technology, the Phonak Audiosphere.
I have never before seen anything that can clear background noise like this technology, and it's now available in a custom in-ear rechargeable model.
Whether you're in a busy restaurant or a crowded room, the Phonak Sphere ensures you hear what truly matters.
Call today, 726-HEAR. That's 726-4327. Mako Hearing Service. We care about the way you hear.
This VOCM weather is brought to you by Vogue Optical, where your second pair is always free. Let Vogue Optical arrange your next eye exam today. Trust us, your eyes will thank you.
St. John's Metro, rest of the Avalon, sun and cloud today, a high of -3. Then tonight, 15 to 25 centimeters of snow at times, heavy easterlies at 40, low -5. 10 to 15 centimeters of snow and ice pellets. That'll change to rain by tomorrow afternoon. Easterly 60 and a high of +2. Clarenville, central Newfoundland, sunshine today, high -2. Up to 10 centimeters of snow overnight. Northeasterly winds 30, low -6. Snow at times heavy, becoming mixed with ice pellets tomorrow. Northeasterlies gusting to 80 with a high of -2. South Coast, sunshine today, a high of -2. 15 to 25 centimeters of snow at times heavy for tonight. Easterlies gusting to 70, a low of -3. Another 5 to 10 centimeters mixed with ice pellets tomorrow. Northeasterly winds 50 and a high of -1. For the west coast, southwest coast, northern peninsula, sun and cloud today, high -1. Cloudy this evening, light snow overnight. Northeasterlies 30, low -9. Some light snow tomorrow. Northwesterly winds 40 and a high of -6. Happy Valley, Goose Bay, sunshine today, high -7. Clear tonight, low -26. Sunny tomorrow, high -4. Labrador West, sunshine today, high -9. Clear tonight, low -30. Sun and cloud tomorrow with a high of -6. And the North Coast, sunshine for today, westerly winds 30, high -13. Clear tonight, low -19. And sunny tomorrow with a high of -10. Right now in St. John's, we have sunshine. The temperature's at -4, feels like -10 with the wind chill. I'll be back with all the news of the day at 12 noon. For VOCM News, I'm Sarah Strickland.
This is Open Line on the VOCM Bigland FM radio network.
Welcome back to the show. Just a couple of quick housekeeping items. One thing I definitely want to get out, because I got a couple of messages on this, one over the weekend. You may have heard about the bread settlement. You know, there were grocery stores were accused of hiking the prices of bread, and they were found guilty of it. And so they're refunding amounts. I don't think they're very big amounts, but, you know, pretty much anybody can sign onto this website and you can put in your information and you might get a check for $20 or something. I think that happened a few years ago. I'm wary of doing that, putting my information on any of these things, especially when the reward is probably minimal. But I'm getting more and more messages saying that there is a scam out there now regarding the bread settlement fund, and people looking for credit card info. And that shouldn't be, of course. I have an emailer that says they contacted the legitimate site, and they were told they do not send text messages and do not request bank card info. So a heads up there. If you want to go down that road, I don't think you're getting thousands from it. So, you judge yourself accordingly. Is the risk and reward there for you. Let's go right to line number... Oh, and sorry, last one. I did mention the sheriff's officers and in Stephenville, and Sarah Strickland did at the top of the news. But just to put a bow on that one, yes, it is due to a shortage of sheriff's officers, and we've got that problem province-wide, which is affecting court operations intermittently throughout the province. So just a heads up there, and that's the explanation. Let's go to line number one. And Jim Parsons, former mayor of Corner Brook, current Liberal MHA, you're on the air.
Hey, how you doing, Brian?
Good, Jim. Thanks for the call. The whole Des Whalen thing, I think what you're calling on the political appointee, I've been following it, and the he said and she said and he said back and forth gets a bit too much for me sometimes. And you got to, as I said off the top of the show, sometimes read between the lines. But and I do have information, of course, talking about that Mr. Whalen, Dr. Whalen can and is billing MCP, my understanding is, for work as a doctor. He is billing for ER, I think, and family practice work as well, and also getting paid separately the $275K for being an advisor. I don't know. This is cyclical, Jim. I mean, look, at both parties, and I say both because the NDP have never held the government, but they've always been guilty of it. Where does it end? And should we just do away with political appointments altogether?
No, and listen, I don't agree that this is. This has been back and forth. I think that this is where the water's been muddied, and you're absolutely right. Like it's difficult for everyone to understand what's really going on here. But political advice is something that is earmarked. There's budgets for it. In the budget, there is a budget set for the Premier's office to have political support staff.
Sure.
Our caucus has political support staff as well, and there's a budget set for that as well. But they're paid along Treasury Board guidelines and pay scales. This is unprecedented. Whenever a doctor is used by government for advice, it's not political advice. So think about doctors that have worked in government in recent past, like Dr. Parfrey or Dr. Fitzgerald or Dr. Brown. They are not providing advice to get a party reelected or make a premier look good. They're there to provide health care and medical advice. This is completely different. And as mentioned previously I was mayor of Corner Brook for many years. And, in my new role, I'm learning a lot and seeing how things work. But, this issue for me, it's not a political stunt as the government would like us to believe. This to me really, it gets to me. It embarrasses me because it makes, to your point earlier, people think, oh, you're all the same. This is not the same. This is a misuse of healthcare dollars for political advice. And this is what makes people cynical about the system. And representatives like me get tarred with the same brush. And it really drives me crazy. And it really saddens me.
So, Jim, you don't buy it? Like, I mean, the Premier has mentioned that it's, the money, the $270 comes from another fund. It's set up specifically to deal with physicians who carry out this administrative pot that they talk about, whether it's in government or the healthcare. That's where it muddies the water for me, because unless you're an actuary or an accountant within government or the auditor, not the auditor, the committee that just surveys, I can't remember the word of it now. But
Public Accounts Committee?
Yes, thank you. The PAIC. That drills down into these things line by line when a budget comes out and deciphers exactly who's getting paid what for what duties and how much to fund and what kind of departmental funding there's. These pots of money are so intertwined. And again, the issue itself on the surface sounds horrible. You have a doctor, which we need more of, being paid political advice and giving advice on things other than healthcare, might I add. So, and the people are hired all the time in the Premier's office and other departments as political advisors. I just wish there were...
No, that's not true.
And not political advisors, as political appointments is what I meant to say. And they all...
Again, there's a difference between appointing someone to provide advice to government and providing advice to get people reelected or make them look good. That is a very different thing here. There is a provision, absolutely, to have doctors working in administrative roles within our system, and that could be from managing staff to providing advice to the departments on how to do things, whether it's healthcare infrastructure or public health. This is completely different. There is a pay scale set out by Treasury Board for political support staff. And this, it maxes out, I think, somewhere around, $180,000 or so. Of course, Dr. Whalen is getting paid $275,000. I have no problem with him working in the Premier's office. I have no problem with him getting paid to work in the Premier's office within the Treasury Board pay scale. With the dollars, with the $1.8 million that's set out for the Premier's support staff, it's the issue of paying him $275,000. Besides that, it sounds like, again, Dr. Whalen is a long-time PC supporter, executive, and I think, and naturally, those
not surprising.
Type of people.
Yeah.
No, and naturally, those are the type of people who end up in the Premier's office or in a caucus office. They are, again, trusted political supporters. In this case here, we've even heard the Minister of Transportation in the House say something along the lines of, maybe we'd be so lucky that he would one day sit in this House. Clearly, they think a lot of Dr. Whalen, and they want him to be a prominent member in the PC party for a long time. I've got no problem with that. None at all. The issue is plucking him out of health care, paying him $275,000. He can still make more by practicing, and that's, again, totally legit. But he can't be paid that $275,000 out of MCP dollars that go to health care. There's a church and state issue here about public service and people getting paid to work for the public versus being paid to work for the Premier or the PC party. And that's not something that's been done. And we can talk about what's been done in the past with different political parties back and forth, blue and red. This is not the case here. And I'm new to all this. I'm new to the whole partisan game. But for me, as a relative newcomer to this, is really I'm taken aback, and I can't believe that the Premier hasn't corrected this and just simply either pay him change policy in Treasury Board. Fine, if you want to do that, go in the budget and find more money and do it that way. But this is just clearly not correct and not right. And it undermines trust in government.
I would say, you're absolutely right. I can't remember this specific occurrence. Absolutely. And there will always be specific occurrences that are unique. And they're looking, we know the government's doing apparently some pretty unique ideas there to try to get to a budget. But I would stress that, as you said, you're new to the House Assembly. I've been covering it for 30 years, and it's been part of my life for 50. And this particular incident might not have occurred in the past. It's another unique one. But, Jim, it is... it's a flow of it over the years. Excuse me. But, I mean, look, people think this is the first time that governments have done something that has been questionable by the other parties as far as where the money is coming from, who's getting paid, political appointments, political advisors. This is forever and a day. And again, I'm not saying this makes this right. I would say that the government is perfectly content to debate this and have an opposition member talk about this than MOUs right now, and the lack of transparency on that than this. So I'd say, I've said it before, I think they're perfectly happy to beat this one to death as long as you guys want to go on with it. There are more important things in my book.
No, I again, Brian, I'll disagree, because I come from an environment. I mean, I was with the city for 8 years, and the bureaucracy I really value them. I think that it's very important that there's public trust in government. I've seen the decay of that over the years.
Absolutely,
It's happened south of the border. We see what's going on down there, and it bleeds over to our politics as well. Now, I don't disagree with you that there have been things, done incorrectly, things done, favors done, and things like that in the past. But you know what? This is a new generation, and we have a different expectation of politics. When we talk about the government one of the government members talked about rooting out all the political appointees poked in the system. That's scary. I mean, as a public servant, to hear rhetoric like that, and combined with this idea that and the gaslighting that's going on, that this is that Dr. Des Whalen is giving. It's okay because he's giving healthcare advice. We know he's not giving healthcare advice. Come on. We've got, how much documentation do we need to show that he's a political advisor?
Well, I don't know if he has good expertise in all other areas or not. Again, I know he's been a party faithful Tory longer than Tony Wakeham. Tony has said it himself. He's been in the grassroots, and again, not a surprise. They're not appointing a Liberal to that job.
He sounds like a smart guy, and he sounds like a loyalist. He sounds like someone, if I were the premier, I'd want in my office. Absolutely. But not necessarily because he's a doctor, and definitely not paying him in healthcare dollars. And I guess for me, I totally agree with you, Brian, when it comes to the cynicism and, the whataboutism of the past and years of patronage. But we're hearing rhetoric around, how roads are getting paid for, like roads get preferred in certain districts. But that's was done before, so it's okay now.
No, I'm not saying it's okay. That's for sure. Just because.
No, and I guess that's the issue here, is that I don't think, you're right that the people get tired of this. I think this is a fundamental issue about our democracy, about the role of public service and trust in government.
Yep.
And for me, it's an easy political decision here for the premier. It's to establish trust. Look, we rely on policies. We rely on our bureaucrats to do work 24 hours a day to keep a very complex government system running, and this is really anathema to that. It's really it makes everyone look bad, and it makes everyone's job more difficult, and makes it difficult to run an efficient, effective government. I think so. The easiest thing to do is just pull the plug on this, or pay him a different way. And again, within the Treasury Board pay scale, through the money that's allotted by government in the budget for the Premier's office, not through healthcare.
Yeah, and again, I didn't say people are tired of it. I think it's an important issue. We can never let, if there's something untoward and it's something that they have to reverse, the pressure is the only thing that'll do that. I just mean that, in my global view of things, I think we spend too much time on certain things instead of other things, and that was kind of my point.
Oh, yeah.
And this has been a good political football now for the past few months. and with a budget coming, and with the homeless issues and other issues that are going on in our, I just think, 10 minutes here or outside the House or after question period, the point's been made. I know it has to be kept up or else it'll go away and everybody will think it's okay, and the public perception of it, the optics. I get it totally, Jim. But look, it's a great discussion, and I'm really glad you called.
No, listen, appreciate the chat and appreciate the debate. And like I said, it's government now has, and the PCs in government have to realize you have to walk and chew bubble gum. So there's a lot of issues, as you mentioned, that have to be kept on the front burner.
Yeah, not even walk and gum. There's like 5 other things you got to be able to do these days. Jim, I appreciate it. And if you're anywhere near Marble Mountain on April 4th, I'll see you. We got a little gig out there, so come on out and say hi.
Cool. Thank you. Talk to you soon.
All right. Thanks, Jim. Take care.
Bye-bye.
All right, bye. That's the Liberal MHA for Corner Brook, former Mayor Jim Parsons. Let's take that break. I almost said Dave. I didn't say it at all today. I even caught myself, Matt Barron. Matt back there pushing the buttons today. Let's take that break. Be right back with Dave Barker after the break.
Call now, 709-273-5211 or 1-888-590-8626. Newfoundland and Labrador's biggest conversation. VOCM Open Line returns in a moment.
Storms move quickly, and so do we. Your VOCM is your first stop when weather takes a turn. Cancellations, delays, road updates, and more with VOCM Stormwatch. Brought to you by Marks. On air and online. Visit VOCM.com. Have a closure? Email psa@vocm.com. Be storm ready with Marks. Visit their Kelsey Drive or Galway locations today. And your VOCM.
When you're hurt in an accident, you need a lawyer you can trust. Trust O'Day Earl to know what you're facing, to have the answers, and fight for every dollar you deserve. Trust us to care. Trust our experience. We know what your claim is worth. We do all the legwork, and there's zero upfront cost until we win. If you're injured, trust O'Day Earl.
Trust O'Day Earl. We know what your claim is worth.
Unhandy hotline.
My water heater is leaking. I can fix it myself, right?
Maybe. You're familiar with basic plumbing, right?
Yeah.
Stuff like turn off the power, close the tank's water supply valve.
Like turning off the keg pour thingy?
Right. Okay. So according to our calculations, you are unhandy.
What? But I can operate a keg pour.
Mr. Reuter, honest and non-judgmental plumbing services for unhandy people.
If you're escaping the cold this winter, we can help you keep an eye on your home from wherever you are. Wilson Security's technicians are experts in professional security integration and can ensure that every aspect of your home protection works together, including high-def cameras and 24/7 monitoring for intrusion, smoke, flooding, and more. If you travel, have extra peace of mind that your house is warm enough when you're not home, which is key if you're concerned about frozen pipes. Get started today with a free consultation. Visit wilsonsecurity.ca to learn more. Wilson Security, your peace of mind, our priority.
Guess what? There's an alternative to long wait times at big box stores for your building supplies. Powers is your locally owned building supply company in the heart of the city on Rope Walk Lane. The Power Brothers have the big brands in paint, doors, windows, flooring, trim, and so much more to make your renovations quick and easy. When you stop at Powers, you won't feel like you went on an excursion because they help you load and go with what you want. Call 722-1720 or visit them on Facebook. That's Powers on Rope Walk Lane. Akita Equipment is hiring. They're looking for long-haul drivers based out of Newfoundland and Labrador for Canada only and cross-border positions. You'll earn 60 cents per mile and paid medical and dental starts immediately for cross-border drivers. They're also looking for owner-operators both in Canada and U.S. qualified drivers. And Akita Equipment is hiring local St. John's-based drivers, mechanics, garage staff mechanics, and apprentices. Email your resume today to chris@akitaequipment.com.
It's Subway's Lunch, Not Luck, where it's a win every day of the week. What's the win? Take it away, Kyle.
It's Subway's Meal of the Day, only $8.99. A 6-inch sub, a drink and chips, or 2 cookies. Enjoy a different sub every day, like pizza sub melt on Monday, cold cut combo on Wednesday, or even sweet onion chicken teriyaki on Sunday.
That's right. 7 days, 7 meals, $8.99 each. Subway's Meal of the Day. Winning isn't luck, it's lunch.
Price and participation may vary. Extras, bottled beverages, taxes, and fees for delivery additional.
Goodbyes are never easy, but when you're saying goodbye to winter, things change. It's time to kick off those winter tires and get ready for the open roads. Call your Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram dealer to book a seasonal tire changeover, included free with our Peace of Mind maintenance service. And if your tires could use an upgrade, enjoy our tire price match guarantee or our buy 3 tires and get the 4th free offer. Offers are exclusive and can't be combined. We built it. We know it.
VOCM Open Line is brought to you by Janes and Noseworthy, licensed insolvency trustees. It's okay to get help with your debt, and finding someone local you can trust makes all the difference.
This is Open Line on the VOCM Big Land FM radio network.
Welcome back to the show. Let's go right to line number 2. And Dave, you're on the air.
Good morning, Brian.
How?
Brian, this Friday, we will probably, there's a good chance we're going to have another doctor's clinic closing down because you guys can't get a doctor. Well, we do have a doctor. They like to take over this situation, but apparently Newfoundland Health won't let it, and the government's not saying nothing about it, right? And they're talking about health care. I mean, you're going to put another 2,000 people, say, looking for a doctor. More people going into health care, into the emergency at nighttime, waiting hours and hours and hours when there's no need of it.
Is this in Central, Dave?
Pardon?
Is this in Central?
Yeah, it's in Grand Falls, Windsor.
Yeah, okay, go ahead.
And, I mean, where's your common sense about we're trying to do something for the health care? They don't have none. You know, I mean, I can see now if you need this doctor in the hospital, but we have lots of doctors in the hospital. You need doctors in clinics so people don't have to go to the hospitals. And then, like you said, when you go, Brian, you could be up to 8, 9, 10 hours waiting to see a doctor.
That is the idea, trying to get people away from emerge rooms and hospitals, and that includes online. Dave, can you remind me the situation with the doctor leaving there? Sorry, when I'm in and out of the show like this, I just give me right from the horse's mouth.
The doctor I won't say his name, is retiring Friday. And for the last couple of years, he was planning on retiring, but he was trying to get someone to take over his. So he finally got someone to take over his practice. And this doctor, her husband's a doctor. He works here in Grand Falls, Windsor. And she's got to go to work to Gander every day, and drive back and forth to Gander every day to go to work. And they said she's got to be supervised or something where she's here. But the doctor said that can be done in her office out here while she's working. So where's the common sense? What do they want, you know?
Well, common sense ain't all that common. I'll throw that out there because it's...
No, and you know something, Brian? I think before anybody goes into politics, they should be given a common sense exam. Boy, they haven't got one to get in there.
I thought you were going there with that. What kind of questions would be on that exam, Dave?
What's your age? Are you smart? Yes or no? And they'll have a question to answer that, too. And like you had a gentleman just in, a former mayor, talking about political patronage. Brian, I agree with what you said. Political patronage has ruined us and has ruined democracy.
Yeah, if it could, I tell you, we get a wholesale change of that.
And it's time to get rid of it.
Oh, remove that from the question, from the equation. Look out, we're on our way. Yeah. Because it's.
Well, like I said, I mean, I'm really concerned that we're going to lose another doctor, and we got no one to replace them, and they're so hard to try to get these doctors. It's unbelievable. And one thing about politicians, boy, when they're in opposition, they got some testicles, haven't they? And geez, and then when they get elected, they all got to go and get a vasectomy. They say nothing after they get elected. You know, I mean, here's our MHA is not saying a word, and we got Cleveland Forsey, who's a part of this. Our town is in his district, right? And he's saying nothing.
And that's a problem. I will agree, Dave, that even when there are serious issues facing your constituents, you're just not going to be as boisterous and critical of those issues because you're on the government side. I challenge anyone to tell me differently. You're not going to pull that punch like you would if you were in the opposition, and therein lies the problem.
And the only one I can honestly say in Newfoundland government has done this, and I'm proud of him, and that's Paul Lane. Because he sat as an MP, as an MHA as a Liberal, as a PC, and left our parties because he didn't agree what they were doing, right? Yeah. And he spoke out.
And it's a testament to Paul Lane for his success in politics over the years. Consistently polls the most votes. I think he's kind of like the Sheila O'Leary of provincial politics. Sheila will always poll the most votes in St. John's. But look, and it's a testament to the independent thinking, to the independent MHA. Look, there are a lot of, we're not going to reorganize the political system in this province, the party system overnight. But when people like Eddie Joyce or Paul Lane, I think it just gets to a frustration boiling point where they say, I'm sick of it. I'm going to do this. Not for everybody. Not everybody has that kind of popularity and that kind of stature in their district. Like over the years of proving that they are a person for the issue at hand, as opposed to party first.
Well, they got until Friday to make their decision. Central Health has, or the Premier, or the Health Minister, to speak out and say, "Boy, we're changing this. The doctor's going to go into the clinic."
Yeah. So, do you know that they're actually contemplating and deliberating over this as we speak?
I heard on the weekend something might happen, but I don't hold my breath for nothing for Grand Falls, Windsor. Okay.
Well, and there was a big hullabaloo over that in the provincial government, in the provincial election too, over whether or not things were so. And you elected who you elected. I'm just curious now to see what as you said, upwards of 2,000 patients. Where are you going to go? And again, there's a lot of move to virtual. There's core care coming from the Health Accord, the 10-year Health Accord, and they're hoping to move. Let's just face it, they're hoping to get more people online to be able to see doctors virtually, to, again, be a tool in the toolbox, if you will. God, I hate that term. Yeah. But a tool in the toolbox to try to do something with the wait lists that are out there. I'll give you one more sec there, Dave. I'm past the break, but give her.
Well, I'll tell you now, Brian, there's something about the healthcare. You know what the biggest problem in our healthcare? They don't listen to the people. If they listen to anyone, like you said, they'll hire some political patrio's job, or you're going to do this, and he's only going to bring back the report what the government wants to hear.
Yeah,
not what the people are saying, right?
Yeah,
and when they're, like they say, when they're in opposition, they're listening to us all the time. But once they form a government, forget it, right? And this is why I like to say, get rid of political parties altogether. Get rid of it.
Well, I've been saying that since I was 12, but doesn't seem to be getting anywhere. That was just in my own head mostly, and my dad.
Well, anyway, let's hope, Brian. Let's hope that they make a sensible decision, and come Friday, put that doctor in that clinic.
Yeah, maybe
people are going to need that doctor.
Maybe Des Whelan's got a bit of spare time.
Okay.
Maybe you can, do a bit of virtual access from his computer on the 8th floor of Federation Building. Dave, thanks for the call. Don't be a stranger. Love to hear you. Keep calling in.
No problem. Okay, bye.
Appreciate it. Thanks very much.
Bye.
All right. A little bit over the break, Dave. We'll take that one and be right back with Glenn. Going to talk about those car boots coming up.
Call now, 709-273-5211 or 1-888-590-8626. Newfoundland and Labrador's biggest conversation. VOCM Open Line returns in a moment.
There's never been a better time to take charge of your insulation. This is Peter.
And Elaine from the Take Charge team.
Insulating your basement and topping up your attic can save you energy, and up to hundreds on your bills, too.
And you can get rebates for 75% of the costs, including labor, up to $3,000 total.
Plus, pink is my favorite color.
Mine too.
Find more ways to take charge of your energy savings at takechargenl.ca.
Newfoundland and Labrador's tech sector is booming, and Academy Canada can help you join in. Our Information Systems Specialist program offers hands-on training in network implementation and support, from desktop to cloud systems, all in under 2 years. Plus, thanks to our transfer agreement with College of the North Atlantic, you can advance your education even further by bridging your diploma to their Bachelor of Applied Information Technology in Systems and Network Cybersecurity. Visit academycanada.com today and come take your place.
A well-trained team is a confident team. At Workplace Safety Training NL, we empower your employees with practical, hands-on training that makes them feel prepared and secure on the job. They specialize in essential certifications like mental health first aid levels A and C, WMIS, and MOAB training. Whether on-site at your workplace or at their facility, they make getting Workplace NL compliance a breeze. Visit workplacesafetynl.ca or call 726-1010 to get started.
Are you missing the sounds that matter most? It's time to hear clearly again. At Belltone, we're making it easier. Book a complimentary hearing evaluation for you or a loved one. Plus, for a limited time, receive $500 off a new pair of selected Belltone hearing aids. This offer ends soon, so don't wait. Reconnect with the world around you. Visit Belltone.com to book your free evaluation today. Better hearing starts with Belltone.
Summer is still a few months out, but having it already planned changes everything. With Sell-Off Vacations, you can book your summer getaway to Mexico, the Caribbean, or Central America by April 26th, and a travel protection plan comes included. That's flexibility and peace of mind should your plans change, and the kind of confidence that makes the countdown feel even better. Book today with your local travel expert or at selloffvacations.com. Certain conditions apply. See website for details.
Spring is just around the corner, and that means Chevrolet's Truck Month is back. For a limited time, get 0% financing for 72 months on the 2026 Chevrolet Silverado 1500 Custom Trail Boss. Canada's most affordable 2-inch factory-lifted V8 truck. With Silverado's off-road capability combined with its powerful 5.3-liter V8 engine, you'll be ready to take on whatever lies ahead. Hurry in, Truck Month won't last long. Visit your local Chevrolet dealer for details.
A new year brings new possibilities. This is your moment to build a better life for you and your family. Discover a career with meaning, one that recognizes your gift for caring and compassion. At Total Care Nursing, you'll find a satisfying wage, group insurance benefits, help with retirement planning, and flexible scheduling that fits your life. 2026 is a year with purpose. Join a supportive team that values growth, respect, stability, and your future today. Visit Total Care Nursing or call 466-5505. Total Care, because we care.
You probably know Stingray for radio advertising.
What about digital advertising?
Yeah, we do that.
Connected TV?
We do that.
Search and social?
And that.
Programmatic? Digital out of home?
We do it all. Endless digital platforms to connect your business to more customers, to intrigue them, engage them, so they choose your product or service. Get started now at stingraymediasolutions.com and let us help your business grow. We are Stingray. That's what we do.
This is Open Line on the VOCM Big Land FM radio network.
And welcome back to the home stretch. Well, we got one little break in between there, but let's go right to line number one. And Glenn, you're on the air.
Good day, Brian. How are you?
How's it going? Thanks for calling in. I know I called out there a little while ago. I saw some of your posts on this whole issue with vehicles getting booted downtown, Glenn. It's all bad enough, but, you know, when you make a few bucks as a musician downtown gigging and you come out and this is what you got to face, how would that make you feel, I wonder?
Well, I've got tickets before where I was playing down the George Street Festival. I finished there. I'm on the main stage, and I go play a bar. I tear down my gear, and I bring it up across the street, and I got a ticket. And I lost like 75% of my money that I made for that night. And then somebody else follows me up, and he has a ticket as well. That's just one aspect. But my friend got ticketed last week while St. Paddy's Day celebrations were going on. Now, in that celebration, you have like probably 10,000 more people downtown. There's nowhere to park. You know, you're just, and as a musician, you're in a panic to find a place to park.
Yeah.
So you're taking whatever you can get because you can't be late for your gig. It's just that simple, right?
And you got a ton of gear to lug, especially if you're a drummer.
Oh, my God, if you're a drummer, if I was a drummer, I'd just take up the spoons.
There's lots of good jokes out there about drummers, but I sympathize with this one.
Yeah. And also, I put together a petition basically because of I was pretty angry with that. My friend got ticketed. You know, he's been playing downtown for 40 years. He's contributing to our culture, our Newfoundland way of life, our music scene. And people come down, fans come and see him play. And at the end of the night, he's got a ticket and he loses all his money. Not only that, then he had to wait for somebody to come to unlock the booth. And then he had to pay the money directly right away in order for them to take the lock off. Can you imagine if it's a young girl who's downtown working in the restaurant industry in the bar at 3:30 in the morning, and she comes up and that happens to her because she can't find a place to park? It's a safety issue as well.
Absolutely. And look, so the issue is established. I don't think anyone would disagree with this on the surface. It's plain as, well, we can call it common sense, but you know what? We just got into that. The interesting thing on this is, Glenn, where do we go for a solution? So I know that there are other jurisdictions. I think New Orleans is one of them, that they have an accommodation for musicians like this with an appreciation for how important they are to why people are going downtown in the first place. Do you know a little bit about something about that, do you?
In Nashville, they have that, and they actually have You get a parking permit you can put in your window, and they also have musician loading zones. So it's a big sign there. You look and load in your gear, and you won't get a ticket. I've had musicians friends. Well, since I put up the petition, I've had 1,140 people sign since Wednesday. So that's fairly good. But everybody's got a story, and I heard one from a drummer where he's loading his equipment in, and he's got 5 drums and a cymbal case and everything. By the time he gets it on the street and comes back, he's getting a ticket, and the person giving him the ticket say, "That's all I can do." But it's not all you can do. If we had some kind of parking pass or parking permit or a place where they could unload their equipment, you're not out money before you even do your gig type thing, right?
No, absolutely. Again, look, this makes eminent sense. I know that Music NL is backing this as well, right? You've got their support, of course. Goes without saying.
Yes, I reached out to Mara, and she is fully behind it, and she wants to help however she can. I've done numerous radio interviews already, and I got a lot of people backing it, and people, it's something that needs to happen. And I don't care exactly how much. It doesn't have to be 100%. Just start off with like something small and make things better. Just develop from there, right?
Yeah, with an acknowledgement of what this problem really means to, hey, come on, we market this province 80, 90% on our musicians, on our music. And the performances, you can't have them like that. And if you're just pissing people off, it's like, oh, God, it just makes no sense. It's just another one of these things where we have to evolve. Do you have any communication yet with the city? Can there be like some informal chats where, okay, let's just open the conversation?
I haven't even begun that yet. I wanted to get the petition out, get everybody's say, and get everybody to, sign it. The more I need proof that, there's people behind this. So once I gather all that information, I'm going to talk to Tamara from Music NL, and I'm going to ask her, can we get together with the City of St. John's or some kind of safety committee and, present just like a few little changes that we can make so people, aren't losing all their money at the end of the night. Because people are going down to see the music. So you're biting the hand that feeds you pretty much, right?
Absolutely. Even if bars just had their own, several. I know that years ago, well, not years ago, but after the keg closed and there were a couple of different establishments went in there, I played a couple of gigs down there, and they had passes for people who were parking along the waterfront behind the keg. I mean, they had them. Yeah. So it's possible, that even some of these companies can do it to accommodate the musicians. But look, this has to involve everyone: the downtown development, the downtown association, the George Street Association. Make sure everybody's at the table so somebody doesn't yell out and say, hey, we weren't consulted, because that'll be the next step, right? But look, at least it's, I'm glad. Thank you for bringing it to the forefront again, because every now and then we need a reminder that this stuff is going on,
Yeah. I wanted to be the messenger of the message. And then because I have NL Live events, I reach 2.7 million views every month from my entertainment page, so I can make it some impact as to how many people see it and the viewers and how many people comment on it. I just want to get the information out there. Everybody, if all the media is picking up on it now and interviewing me and whoever, that means the message is getting out there. And so I just want to create the buzz and work on it. Just work on a solution to this problem. No matter how small it is, I just want to make change for the better.
I don't think small enters the equation. I think it's bigger than small, that's for sure. It's, NL not live events. There are no live events without it, so without the musicians. So a little bit of consideration, and we're not raking it in. I know lots of musicians, and you do too, that don't gig downtown anymore for this particular reason. It's just too stressful trying to get in and out,
Yeah, and there's some people, not even musicians, their fans are like, I'm not going downtown anymore. I can't find a place to park. It's very, very stressful, And when I go to play, I'm down there 12 o'clock in the day on a Saturday. That's great. But that is, everybody doesn't have my option. Maybe they're working on Saturday and they can't get there. And when the only time they can get there is 30 minutes before they play. So but you can't be penalized for creating something in our tourism that is so important. Like, the George Street Association, when they have the George Street Festival, my God, you have like 30,000 people down there, all paying to see the music, contributing to hotels and food, entertainment, the whole works. And then at the end of the night, the guy who was on stage just got a ticket. It's like, I don't know.
And, you know yourself, too. You can't just get there 30 minutes before a gig. From a purely professional craft angle, you need time to prepare to put on a good show. You want to take a breath. You want to get in a comfort zone. You're about to put on a show for people. Leave your, reputation out there at a bar or at a larger venue, wherever it is. And you want to be putting your best face and music forward. You can't really do that when you're rushing up the road to feed a meter or praying in the back of your mind that you're not going to face a $50 ticket or a boot when you get out of there at 2:30 in the morning. It's brutal. Glenn, look, I appreciate the call. Keep up the great work with NL Live Events. People, check that out. And keep me posted on any progress on this front.
I certainly will. And if anybody wants to help out and sign the petition, just go to NL Live Events, and it's the very first post that you will see on our Facebook page.
Perfect. Break legs whenever you have to.
Okay, perfect.
Thanks again, Glenn.
Well, thanks for having me on your show. I appreciate it.
No worries, anytime.
Okay, have a great day.
You
Bye-bye.
too. Thanks a lot. Take care. All right, Matt, let's take that final break in the morning. We're going to come back with Walter and talk a little recreational fishery to clue up the show right after the break.
Call now, 709-273-5211 or 1-888-590-8626. Newfoundland and Labrador's biggest conversation. VOCM Open Line returns in a moment.
The Wilds Resort and Conference Center is the perfect place for your team to think, plan, and reconnect. You don't need to go far. You just need to arrive somewhere special. Not sure where to start? Our dedicated planning team can make every step effortless. With flexible meeting spaces and a range of accommodations, hotel rooms, villas, and cottages, bringing everyone together is easy. Add outdoor experiences city hotels can offer, and your team leaves inspired. Just 45 minutes from the city. Discover a 4-season group destination at thewilds.ca.
Hey, I'm Ryan Reynolds, and if you're like me, you never stop wondering what the future holds. The one thing I do know is that you'll be able to enjoy my maple butter glazed donut at Tim Hortons because it's so fluffy and delicious that it'll never come off the menu. Never, ever, ever. Try it today at Tim's.
At Royal Cleaners, we believe in more than just cleaning. We believe in building lasting relationships with our clients. We create tailored solutions to fit your needs and budget. Whether it's commercial or residential, our friendly team treats your space with care, giving you more time in your day. Visit royalcleaners.ca or call 709-552-0000. Royal Cleaners, where relationships, confidence, and personalized service matter.
Ready to build real skills? College of the North Atlantic prepares graduates for real success with hands-on programs trusted by industry. Train as a machinist and master precision metal cutting and CNC operations. Become a carpenter, reading blueprints and constructing residential and commercial projects. Or step into renewable energy with wind turbine technician, maintaining mechanical and electrical systems for next-generation wind power. Apply for fall 2026. cna.nl.ca.
A busy day of errands without the 100% electric Toyota BZ can feel endless. But when you get the BZ during Red Tag Days, you can fast charge from 10 to 80% in as little as 30 minutes and top up while you shop. Take advantage of Red Tag Days on now. Eligible customers can receive up to $10,000 off, including $5,000 federal rebate on select 2026 BZ XLE front-wheel drive models. Visit shoptoyota.ca or your local Atlantic Toyota dealer today. Under ideal conditions when using DC fast charging.
Are you tired of the winter weather? Ready to trade Jack Frost for the Easter Bunny? We are too. Stay connected with Downtown Conception Bay South on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. Or visit us at downtowncbs.com for details on an exciting Love Local spring campaign. We have something special blooming under all that snow. From unique local shops and delicious dining to professional services and everyday essentials, Downtown CBS makes it easy to shop local. Downtown CBS, everything you need right here.
Grow together, save lives. On Sunday, April 19th, join the Healthcare Foundation for the annual Row for Heart, where teamwork and community help strengthen cardiac care in Newfoundland and Labrador. Together, let's turn participation into progress and support patients and families when they need it most. Register a team or make a donation today at healthcarefoundation.ca. Proudly presented by Capital Hyundai.
At Lane's Retirement Living, it's more than a place to stay. It's a lifestyle built on independence, connection, and dignity. It's where every day feels like home. Our team is here to help you live your best life while respecting who you are and how you choose to live. Enjoy meaningful connections, peace of mind, and the freedom to thrive, all in one welcoming community. Lane's Retirement Living, where comfort meets care and life is lived fully. Visit lanesretirementliving.com or call Mary at 709-895-2637.
To ensure your beverage containers are accepted at the Green Depot, prepare them properly. Please remove caps, straws, garbage, and liquid. Ensure labels are left on and containers are not crushed or broken. Give them a rinse and they'll get the green light. Learn more at mmsb.nl.ca.
This is Open Line on the VOCM Big Land FM radio network.
And welcome back. Last caller in the morning. But before I get there, just the political advice and political appointee conversation stirred a little bit this morning. A couple of emails here. I'll just get to one. One says, people upset over which department supplies the funds to pay political advisors. They should be upset that any government money goes to pay them. Political advice does not benefit the province or taxpayers, only the political parties. I'm inclined to agree with this caveat. Of course, we all know the first job of a politician, Matt, get elected. What's the second job? Get re-elected. So as long as that is the platform we're facing, that's what's going to happen. Let's go to line number 2. And Walter, you're on the air.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, how are you?
Good. When I heard Johnson Rowe make that motion that in the House of Commons to open the food fishery.
Oh, yes.
Actually, that's what he
to expand it, yeah.
Yeah, expand. I totally agree with everything he said, with the exception of calling it the food fishery. Then later on social media, people were making comments, and I said the same thing. I totally agree. I wish it was open for 7 days a week because I do get involved in the recreational fishery, and now that I'm retired, I can go whenever I want. About 10 years ago, a buddy of mine, we bought a boat between us. We're after spending about 10 grand on it. So when we go fishing, our fish cost is about $50 a pound, whereby you can go to Petty Harbour when the commercial fishery opens and buy it for $5. Our docking fees are $200. That's 40 pounds of fish right there. Now, totally supportive of it. And to give you an example, I've met 2 people from Ontario. One was a former Newfoundlander who makes trips to Newfoundland, calls me up, we take them out. Look at the money that's generating for the economy. Every little outdoor shop, the same thing. And there was a caller there last week. Again, I agree with everything he said except calling it food fishery. And he even mentioned about the fishermen. And they do complain about us. They think they own the water. I'm out there catching 10 fish, and he's out there catching 5,000. So I don't know how I'm going to hurt him. If I can take fish from his boat, he probably shouldn't be fishing. But so in '92, during the moratorium, a tradesperson in rural Newfoundland could hardly get a job. Fishermen were doing cash jobs of building sheds, renovating basements. Some were even doing it for beer money. So they really have nothing to say about this. But again, back to the fact that it's not a recreational fishery, it's a food fishery. It's not. And I understand Jonathan Rowe, he's playing the political thing, trying to get trying to
tug at those local heartstrings. Yeah, I get it.
But it really isn't. I mean, $5 a pound. Yeah. If I were to go next year and I had my own boat, it'd be cheaper for me to go buy fish. But I don't do it for that. I do it for the fun of it. I give away a lot of it. Actually, most of it, what I do when I come home on a Saturday or Sunday morning or Monday morning, I'll ask my wife, do you want fish for supper? She'll say, yes, and we'll have a feed. The rest I give away. Now, anything huge, we salt, which is my favorite part. But to put fish in the freezer in July and expect it to eat at this time of the year, boy, you haven't got many taste buds.
There you go.
I know. I bought $50 worth from a fisherman in December, and and I could have had. Well, let's take 39 days times 5, and I actually catch an extra 5 for a friend of mine. That's an awful lot of fish, but I don't. It's like I equate it to the moose hunt and the salmon fishery. I asked a guy that he has a boat. We see him all the time. I said, Paul, how much your moose cost you this year? He said, about $4,000. And that's the same with the fish, unless you get I have 2 friends that come out with it regularly. And I told them, I said, you are the guys that are benefiting, and they totally agree. I mean, we're the ones spending the money. No, they do put gas in the boat, buy a few beer afterwards. But back to my original point, no, it is not a food fishery.
Yeah, and I'm with you 100% on that, Walter. You know, I never really, words matter. And a recreational food fishery just implies that it's just people going out but the tourism side of it, as you said, people that you bring in. But it's forever and a day, it's been a bone of contention when it differs from the Atlantic provinces, the way we do it, 3 days versus 7. I only got a couple, I'll give you one last word on it. Do you agree with Tom Osborne, the MP? You know, he just said it would come with a cost. There's reasons why they voted against it. And, you know, if you go down that road, he said it'll just cost more and it'll be tanglier than ever.
No, they're just playing politics. That's all. I don't agree. Why isn't it costing me any more in Nova Scotia and PEI?
Yeah, I'm with you. I asked the question only because, you know, it's almost like they dangle that threat of more bureaucracy over your head, you know?
Yeah, and just one more point. People are confused about this, and I checked it out myself. I asked the fisheries officer, look, can you catch 10 fish? Myself and my buddy used to go out, catch our 5 fish. Then we had a note each for an extra 5. We'd go out and catch another 5. So I asked the fisheries officer, he said, no, we just do that to keep people safe. So we came in one time with 30 fish, and the fisheries officer asked, you guys must have notes. We said, yes. So we showed them to him, and everything was fine. So, yeah, that issue is not there. So he said there was a boat in Bay Bulls. He said yesterday came in was 4 people with notes, and they had 40 fish. That only makes sense.
Sure. Of course.
But, yeah. Oh, can I say one more quick thing about a doctor?
Yes, but you got 30 seconds. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, we lost our doctor there about a month ago. Couldn't find one. Went to a walk-in clinic, saw a doctor because I had to get some blood work done.
Yeah.
And he said, I'm not taking complex cases. I said, what do you mean? Well, if you got too many issues, now, fortunately for me, I don't have too many issues. I'm just getting regular blood work. I mean, what's happening to the people who have complex health? You're a doctor.
Wow. That's a tough one to swallow, because if I'm going to a doctor and out of my way to do that, it's already serious to me. So what's serious to him might not be as serious to, you know what I mean?
That's well, I never said anything. I'm just glad I don't have a lot of health issues.
Yeah.
At least my blood test will tell me. Okay, I'll let you go on now.
No, I appreciate it, Walter. Thanks. Call again. Thanks again.
I got it on the system. Thanks.
All right, take care. Okie dokie. That's just about all we got. I got about 30 seconds. So we're back all week, folks, along with my buddy Matt Barron filling in there behind the glass. Matt, darn it, I really wanted time to talk about your Leafs today.
I was looking at the clock. I'm like, is he going to actually do this?
I'm not going to have time to talk about the Toronto Maple Leafs.
I just want to very quickly say that I pretty much abandoned hockey this year. I used to be a diehard, watch every single game, stay up late, wear my jersey. Don't do it this season. I just can't.
You know, Matt, the solution that just love the game, my friend. Just love the game.
I do, but I'm just looking forward to playoffs now and picking a team that isn't going to be the Leafs in the playoffs.
And you won't lose, and you won't live and die over it, which is another nice, good reason for it.
Yes.
All right, boys and girls, that'll do it for Monday. Thanks, Matt.